Time for more high school football championship action in the state of North Carolina. Old North State crown going to be handed out to either Kinston or Shelby as the Vikings and Golden Lions go toe to toe. A pleasure to have you with us as we welcome you back. What a weekend it has been already. What a weekend it is going to be. And Eric, it's all about handing out trophies. It's all about lifetime memories.
Once again, JP, workouts, running, lifting weights, all the classes, it culminates right here today. Somebody's going to walk away with the state championship.
What do you look at in these two teams, and what do you see in this matchup, Eric?
Well, both high-powered offenses. I mean, one scores almost 50 points a game, one scores almost 40 points a game. So I expect a lot of fireworks to come up today. A lot of defense is going to be played. It's going to test that secondary, but I'm hoping for a fantastic game today, JP.
Fireworks because we have explosive playmakers. Time to take a look at those we will be focusing on. Who are you keeping an eye on in this one?
Well, first of all, we're going to look at Tyreek Copper. He is a wide receiver, has 30 touchdowns for Kinston, JP. It's going to be hard to keep this young man under wraps today.
Well, you look at the challenge he presents to opposing defenses. Same thing can be said on the other guy on the side, because here's a guy who's going to have the football in his hands often.
Yeah, Land Farmer. As we walked out on the sideline, this is a big young man right here. He's responsible for throwing 48 touchdowns. They're going to have to corral him today, but he makes this offense go.
Numbers speak for themselves for Land Farmer and the Golden Lions. Familiar territory for Shelby. Feels like Cleveland County a little bit here. But you know what? The folks out of the East going to have something to say about this one. What must they do to claim the title?
Yeah, Kinston's going to have to stay hot on offense. Like I mentioned, Shelby scores 48 points per game, so they're going to have to keep the ball and stop the pass for Shelby. And then for Shelby, you're going to have that turnover battle. You have to attack the football with a relentless pursuit of that football and limit the penalties.
Did it a decade ago. Why not go for another round? That's what it'll take. That's our Ingles food for thought. Those are the keys to the game. Let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team. Here's Madison Little, field side.
Thanks, guys. Regardless of how this game ends, both of those players you talked about are going to leave a legacy of their own at their respective high schools. Shelby quarterback Land Farmer, he's already the top passer in Cleveland County history. He owns the career passing yards record and comes into this one less than 100 yards shy of 10,000. On the other side, Tyreek Copper, he's putting together a historic season of his own, third in the nation in receiving yards, first in receiving touchdowns, and a chance today to break not one, but two state records. He's just 91 yards from the single-season receiving yards mark and 2 touchdowns from the touchdown record. But no matter what the stat line looks like, both of these guys are chasing the same thing tonight, adding a state championship to their already impressive resumes. The NCHSAA 3A state championship starts when we come back.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
I am so
Why can no one help me?
Waiting is the worst. I think it's
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
Sun shining down on Durham County Memorial Stadium for our 3A title game. 52 degrees going to be the temperature at time of kick as the Vikings and Golden Lions meet at midfield. Said it a little bit earlier, feels like Cleveland County here today, right? You got Shelby, you're going to have Crest here in a little bit. It's almost as if we're right down on the Carolina border, but a couple of teams out of the East that will have something to say about that. One thing we know, it's football state championship time in the Old North State, and you never know what you're going to see on an afternoon like this.
You're absolutely correct, JP, and I'm going to tell you something. As I was looking down at the stands here, I see a bunch of sweatshirts that say, "We play football in December." That's what they do, and that's the expectation when you play for Shelby, the Golden Lions. And I'm going to tell you something. There's an anticipation in the atmosphere, JP, and it's exciting. It's electric. Thanks to all the administrators, the coaches, the teachers that had a hand in getting these young men on both of these sidelines to the state championship today.
These two met 10 Decembers ago. It was in 2015. Shelby got the better of that one, 57-21.
Yeah, and it's funny, you know, as coaches, you're kind of part psychologist, part parent, part teacher. I mean, you play a lot of roles. And coming out the banner for Kinston, it had "This Ain't 2015." So you know they've been thinking about this all week, JP.
This is Shelby's 18th appearance, to Eric's point, 12-5 all time. The first time, however, in 4 years. So every senior, think on this, since 2013 has been in at least one state title game, but for this group of seniors, it's their first.
And here we go, JP. It's about time for kickoff, and you know they're excited. One thing you have to do in these state championship games is kind of just control your emotions. The adrenaline's going to be flowing. You know, hopefully we won't get a lot of offsides and things like that initially, or false starts, but you have to control that.
Coach Mike Wilbanks told us he's just happy to be a part of it. Here's a guy who's been at Shelby since 2006, 3 decades in the coaching ranks, and he's a guy who understands what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah, he said it's a great joy to coach these guys, and you know, with the senior leadership that got them to this point, you know they're anticipating another state championship.
And here on the other side, Coach Kieselman, also the AD, so he's handling multiple responsibilities this week. But what a job he has done bringing this team here in 2025.
Yeah, he said they've been overcoming adversity all year, and they just have to stay the course and stay focused on the mission, which is bringing home a state championship.
So it's the green and gold out of the Eastern Plains Conference against the gold and black out of the Southern Piedmont. We are now ready for our Original Grills kickoff. Elevate your grill game at Original Grills. They'll be the sponsor of all our kickoffs throughout the course of this one. As you can see, Vikings are going to experience the football first. We'll see their offense after this kick. There is the Original Grills kickoff that has the 3A title game underway. Return up across the 30 to the 34-yard line. And that is where the return man is upended. That, of course, was Poole on the return. A guy who you'll see at wide receiver. You'll see him at cornerback at times along the way. And now we turn our attention to the quarterback for this Kinston squad. And, Eric, both these quarterbacks outstanding. You heard Madison tell you a little bit about some record-breaking moments on one side. Tyler Jones has numbers that are just as impressive on the other.
That's right. I have written in my notes video game-like numbers. This young man has thrown for over 4,000 yards and 54 touchdowns. It's going to be an exciting matchup.
He's got Wiggins in the backfield. He's got a quartet of wide receivers, among whom Copper, who we showed you in the open, is the headliner. So there are all kinds of weapons for this Kinston squad. First play from scrimmage. It is Wiggins, and he'll be met by that Shelby D. Let's take a look at those surrounding cast members for Tyler Jones. Here's the offensive alignment for the crew out of the East.
Yeah, so we highlighted Copper initially there, but he's throwing the ball also to Chambers, number 5. He's got 14 touchdowns, and McNeil, he's got 2 touchdowns. And, you know, these guys are filled with weapons on at every position, so it's going to be an exciting day. So who can strike first?
Those are affordable dentures and implants starting lineups on the offensive side. Second down and around 9 after just a yard on the Wiggins carry. Now looking to throw for the first time. Set up a screen. Here are the skills of Copper on display with his first touch of the football. inside the 20, and he sets up a red zone opportunity with everything he does after the catch.
You see why this young man is special, and they took advantage of Shelby's that relentless defense there, JP, as they baited him in with that screen. And as we're going to look at it here, just baited him in and let him come to him and let Copper do his thing. And you see this young man making all the cuts and the jukes, and he is off to the races.
He gave you his numbers earlier, good for the second best season in the history of the state of North Carolina. Think about it, 91 yards away, as Madison told you. Got a pretty good chunk of them right there from setting the record, and also a couple of touchdowns away, and they're a little closer to touchdown territory as the first Air Experts heating and cooling red zone opportunity is in effect. And back to Wiggins, and Wiggins is chased out to the far side, and that's Jaden Williams, who would have none of it for the Golden Lions of Shelby. Here's a look at the entire defensive alignment for Shelby. Once again, our starting lineup's brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants.
Yes, we look at this defense. It's been a stingy defense all year, JP. 158 tackles for loss, 46.5 sacks, and 10 interceptions. And led by the cornerback there, Mr. Williams, who has 1 interception, and add now number 18 for his tackle. So they're going to have to pursue that football.
What will come of the Air Experts heating and cooling red zone chance? Pressure. Works out all right as he's got Wiggins.
Wow.
And Wiggins is still up, and he will take it all the way home. Will not be denied. Short of a Tatum and Atkinson touchdown. The work after the catch for Copper to get them down here. The work after the catch for Genesis Wiggins. It is the genesis of the offensive impact for the crew out of the East.
You gotta love it. Look at that young man. He is fired up, JP, and it's just a release valve. You know, nothing's downfield, and so he just hits that valve, and Wiggins does the rest. He makes 1 man miss, 2 men. Look at the balance on that young man, and he fights, says he would not be denied getting into that end zone.
Well, Tatum and Atkinson are the heavy hitters. They're the sponsors of our touchdowns in this contest, but you just saw a duo of heavy hitters right there. In Copper and Wiggins, they combined to put the crew looking to avenge that game from a decade ago on the board first. The extra point is true. Our broadcast brought your way by Affordable Dentures and Implants will continue in a moment. First blood drawn on the opening touch of the football by the Vikings of Kinston.
At Wells Fargo, we believe that doing can make a difference. That's why we've donated over $2 billion to strengthen local communities over the last 5 years. From over $745 million to help address housing access and affordability, to roughly $420 million to help small business owners through nonprofits, to over $55 million to support scholarships and programming for students. Because doing gets it done.
Following the Kinston touchdown, an original Grills kickoff returned by Shelby up near midfield, and we'll get our initial look at the Golden Lions from their own 42-yard line. And as Madison told you earlier in the contest, and Eric's going to remind you right now with these numbers, it's a record-breaking quarterback at the helm of this Shelby Golden Lions offense.
Yeah, once again, video game-like numbers also, JP. This young man has thrown for 48 touchdowns, and sure he's looking to add on to that. He throws a beautiful ball, wide open as a receiver there.
Well, no time wasted as he comes near side. Why not go ahead and take a look at the offense in full for Shelby?
Yeah, and we just saw a catch by Jawan right there. He has 8 touchdowns. And in the backfield, you have Jonas Woods. He is a freshman. He averages 8 yards a carry, JP, with 8 rushing touchdowns.
Kendrick Dewan, the first target, and now Shelby to keep it on the ground. Jonas Woods on cue will carry it near the 32. How important is his play today in your mind?
Oh, it's huge, JP. He's going to have to establish that run because, with all those passing touchdowns there by Farmer, he is going to have to get Jonas Woods going right there to draw those linebackers up, to open it up over the top. And we see Kinston's defense right there. They are a stingy defense as well. 15 interceptions, 11 sacks, and 95 tackles for loss. They're going to have to reclaim that line of scrimmage, JP.
All our starters brought your way by Affordable Dentures and Implants, sponsors of your Affordable Dentures and Implants starting lineups.
False start on the offense. 53 and 5-yard penalty. Second.
We get our initial penalty of the contest on the Shelby drive. Mark Hurt, in his 30th year of officiating high school football, is our head official in this one. There you see the head man on the Shelby side of things, Coach Wilbanks. What is he drawing up here? Looking for a deep shot, and he's got a man wide open for a quick strike TD. Shelby battles right back. Just a tremendous answer for the Golden Lions, and a Tatum and Atkinson touchdown catch. They go to Corey right away, and boy, does it pay off.
Yeah, they run that tight twins, and just the seam route down the middle. It looks like when you're in zone, the seam is always going to be open. Great throw and catch.
Take one more look at the catches made. Actually, Roseboro there, check that, working his way into the end zone. And Roseboro's a guy who has been the catalyst in this playoff run. Lorenzo Roseboro in the playoffs, elevating his game to another level. And here he does so to the tune of the first Shelby TD with 8:22 to play. It serves as the equalizer.
There you go, JP. And once again, Shelby's unfazed by it. They just came right out, marched down the field, a couple of passes, and here you go. And like we said in the opener, JP, man, it's going to be a shootout. And it's holding up to its billing right here.
Well, just what you would expect to get things started between these two. You said it, they are familiar foes in a state championship environment. And both serving notice to their, and let's go ahead and say it, E, to their well-represented fan bases here today that they came to play.
You better believe it. It feels almost like a double home game, if you will. Shelby's stands are packed. Now, as I look across the field there, just probably 2/3. I mean, it's not many empty seats on the other side for Kinston.
A couple of quick strike Tatum and Atkinson TDs, and now our original Grills kickoff going to be returned to the 25-yard line. There's a flag that comes out here just about the time that Jamaris Poole carries it there.
Yeah, it's going to be a holding call.
Blocking the back.
Oh.
What a luxury to have an official with 3 decades experience at the head of the crew in this one. Let's take a look at that scoring drive. Did not take long, just 3 plays needed.
3 plays, Once again, Kinston said, this ain't 2015. And Shelby saying, oh, no, yeah, it is. We're just going to replay. And once again, they're unfazed by that quick score by Kinston.
Well, backed up inside the 10-yard line after the penalty. Kinston and Tyler Jones to work. Plenty of black jerseys there, and they snuff it out right away. Well, there is Jawan. You're going to call his name on offense. You're going to call his name on defense because they're going to leave him on the field.
Yeah, there you go. It's just that relentless pursuit of the football. Watch how many golden hats are around that ball. Here they come, and that's another tackle for loss. I said in the onset, they have 158 tackles for loss. Make that 159, JP.
Got to make sure you get all those in there.
That's right.
This one for a loss all the way back to the 4-yard line. Closing in on 7.5 remaining in the opening period. And a little bit of miscommunication here. It's incomplete.
Yeah, and it looks like a timing pattern. You're going to 1, 2, 3 stop, throw, and, the receiver, they just weren't on the same page there. And that's, as I look at it, JP, that's controlling those emotions, that adrenaline. You're in the state championship game. All you've been hearing all week and all season is we got to get this thing. This is not 2015. And so you may get a little bit of those jitters every now and then.
Work them out early.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the challenge. Here becomes 3rd down. Reminder, they need the 20-yard line to move the chains. From his own end zone. Set up underneath. And the Shelby Golden Lions are right there.
Well played. That was well defensed. And just trying to draw him in again. If you remember on that scoring drive, that first scoring drive, they threw that little bubble screen or tunnel screen and got big yardage on it. But here, the Golden Lions defense, they were ready for it. And threw it out of his own end zone. He caught that in his own end zone, JP.
Always makes you catch your breath just a little bit. I know the folks on the far side had to do just that. He's kicking this from his own end zone. Pretty good foot into it. And it'll take a nice hop up across the 40-yard line. Shelby will start on the Kinston side of the 50. The Golden Lions looking for their first lead of the day in the early stages.
Belief isn't just a feeling, it's a force. A force that turns underdogs into champions, struggle into strength, and concepts into companies. A Legacy and Wake Forest University are proud to partner because we share a truth that belief in people yields the highest returns. Together, we're investing in every dream, every goal, every tomorrow. This is our home. Let's believe.
.org and the Football Championship page to access the program. It includes brackets, rosters.
7 apiece, but the Shelby defense standing tall moments ago. We welcome you back to our broadcast presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. What are your early impressions of this 3A title game, E?
Well, this is what I think. This is a very important drive for Kinston right now. If Shelby goes down in 2 or 3 plays and scores, then I'm going to tell you something. Psychologically, that does something to you, JP, because they just held them. You know, 3 and out of them here. They got the ball in great field position, and this is a big drive right here, depending on how that defense is.
Looking deep again. And had a man deep again, just overshot his intended target, and that was going to be double the pleasure of Kendrick Drawan right there. They were looking for him again.
JP, I'm telling you, man, they are gun slingers. This young man has been throwing the ball all over the yard. He sits back there. He's confident. He's waiting on him to get open and just beyond the reach of his fingertips. But I tell you what, JP, he's going to be looking that way all night.
What does it say about the approach of this Shelby coaching staff, what we've seen right away?
Yeah, it says trust. I trust number 8. I trust the game plan. I trust our players to execute it. There's no panic in it.
We'll toss over the middle this time, right between the hashes, down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line, as Emmanuel Collins, a 3-year starter, gets involved.
Yeah, he's just under 1,000 yards receiving, JP. 12 touchdowns, and he just added to it. This could be a long day for Kinston if they don't make a stop right here.
Yeah, because Land Farmer has become the all-time leading passer in Cleveland County because he has so many different weapons.
Big arm. Look
Here's another,
wide open.
And it's another touchdown. Goes to Ramsor. And Calvin Ramsor, a 4-year starter, has a state championship TD. Shelby is out front just that quickly.
Yeah, JP, and like I stated, man, if they come out and he's got all the time in the world to survey the field and just wait for his receivers to get open, and once again, you got a receiver standing wide open, untouched into the end zone.
So a couple of different receivers with TD catches. And this Tatum and Atkinson touchdown, making it 13-7. Looking for the extra point. The kicker, Matt Grenier. It is true. And with 6:25 to go in the first, Shelby has touched the football twice. You've seen the result.
Yeah, they scored twice, JP. And, you know, I'm looking at the body language of some of the linemen out there for Shelby, and they were just like, yeah, this is exactly what we expected. Let's get our job done. Let's do it. Let's make it convincing.
Well, you'll be reminded that First Source Rentals will provide our powering the game moment. First Source Rentals, rent it. Powering the game. They provide you the opportunity to see these state championships live as they happen all across the state of North Carolina. What a weekend it's been. 8 games across 3 days in 3 separate locations, but all staggered in such a way that you don't miss a single snap. Happy to have you with us as this Original Grills kickoff will provide Kinston a chance to respond, and they'll do so from the 33. Well, tale of 2 drives for Kinston to this point. The first one on which they got a major impact from their playmaker, made it look easy in taking the early lead. The last time around, Shelby's defense tightened up.
Yeah, they're going to have to get something established, get a rhythm going. You know, if Shelby touches, every time they touch the ball, they score, like the keys to the game said, they're going to need to stay hot on offense and take their time, establish the run, get them in a good situation to where they can capitalize on it.
And it's incomplete down the far side with 6:15 to play. And they were trying to connect with Copper once again.
Yeah, Copper had a step or two. I mean, you know, it would have to be a perfect throw, but it would have been in there. But yeah, they're going to have to get something established, JP, because they continue to go 3 and out, and Shelby's continue to score. It could get out of hand quick.
Second down. Little toss far side, and it's going to be up to the 35.
That was good. Wiggins out the backfield there. I mean, that was a nice positive play. Once again, taking advantage of that aggressiveness on the defensive front. Just gets him out there. He gets through 1 tackle and, you know, get some positive yards out of it. That's what they're going to have to do, JP, and methodically drive the ball down the field.
And 3rd down coming. Near side, Pat Brown up across the 40 to the 41. Well, that'll put him near the marker. Decision time.
Oh, you got to go for it. I mean, if I'm thinking, you know, it's no doubt. Coach Gieselman, he's got to get this. He's got to keep that football out of the hands of Shelby. Get these methodical drives if necessary. Stick in the end zone, play some sound defense, and try and do it again.
Fourth down. And they appear as if they are going to roll the dice. And whistles before the play.
And Kinston will use a
Well, they wanted a little more time, to discuss it.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm Coach Gieselman, I'm getting my best 2-yard play right now, and we're going to run it. And you have to set the tone, JP, I feel. You know, just so they can gain some confidence on offense. You've got to get this first down right here.
Well, take us inside the huddle, Harry.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Gieselman, I'm like, hey, fellas, this is what we're going to do. I may line up even in a heavy set. I'm not sure, you know, come out of that spread. All you got is to get it 1 yard. I'm going to get on the center and call it the Kinston tush push, whatever you want to call it. We're going to get that 1 yard. And I'm going to challenge my team, my linemen up front. Fellas, 1 yard. This right here can set the tone, can reestablish the tone of the game like they had on that opening drive. Score, keep this thing going.
Well, now the 4th down play. Has the feeling of an important moment with the way Shelby is clicking offensively early.
Oh, wow.
He almost figured it would be in his hands, but the Golden Lions were waiting.
That was a great pursuit by the free safety, Derek Key there. He's got 4 tackles for loss, 50 tackles. This young man came flying from that secondary, from that corner position, and just made the tackle. You know, with the team speed that Shelby has, in order to negate that speed, you got to run right at it. You can't outrun it.
Derek Key among those on the scene, one of the senior leaders. And we talked about how important this senior class is for Shelby. There's a reminder.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Quick cut.
Seam route.
It is him, and it is just out of his reach. Boy, designed beautifully, and it was all set up for an Emmanuel Collins touchdown just through his fingertip.
Yeah, and they went empty set, you know, and so you know beyond a shadow of a doubt is going to be a pass. And it looks like Kinston was in like a 2-deep shell, and he just ran vertical right down the middle of the field, and Farmer just overthrew him. But you can best believe, JP, they're going to come back to it.
Shelby pulling out all the stops in this first quarter. Dancing through some traffic on the right hash. Jonas Woods reminding you what a key part of this offense he is. You know, he sets up so much of what this vast array of wide receivers can present.
Absolutely, because what you have to do, if you establish the run game, you know, if you only have 4 or 5 guys in the box, you're going to run the ball. As soon as they bring one man down in the box to try and stop, but given 6 in the box, then you're going to go over top. And so that running game is vitally important.
A 3rd down for Shelby.
That looks like they're in cover 1.
Well, calling his own number. Maybe about a couple of yards shy. As Land Farmer can from time to time tuck it when he needs to.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's proven that, JP. This young man has rushed for 13 touchdowns. And so, yeah, when there's nothing there, just tuck it and run. Get what you can. Just a yard or so away from that 1st down mark.
Coming left side, and inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. You can move the chains.
Yep.
A tip-top roofing 1st down. Shelby keeps on rolling.
Yeah, just a new formation there, like a bunch formation. Gets him on the corner. Big fella just dives. It looked a lot worse, I guess, than it actually was. It seemed that, you know, that DB took his legs out, but he just jumped over him, as we saw there on the replay, and keep the chains moving.
Looking far side. Incomplete. His intended target there was Kendrick Raper. We're told that is who jersey number 0 is now. That the Shelby roster we were given has Kendrick Jawan. We're told Kendrick Raper in jersey number 0. So that noted as we move forward here, as it is in conflict with the roster we were given, but we certainly want to make sure we pass the right info along. State championship moments, and you want to always get them right, right?
That's exactly right, because these are memories you will keep for a lifetime.
And we appreciate all those out there working hard to make sure we have the proper info. Right on cue, it's in his hands again, and inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. He's going to now make this potential push for a 1st down manageable.
Yeah, and it's a critical down once again for Kinston, and getting the stop here and forcing either a field goal or a turnover on downs. But you can be rest assured Shelby has a play that can get them 4 yards and maybe in the end zone. But we'll see here, JP.
Here's another of those 3rd downs. All kind of options. And just slinging this, that was nearly picked off, and that might have gone for a while had it ended up in the grasp of the defender. Good coverage by Justin Gooding to at least disrupt it.
Yeah, great read, and there's Farmer, just really trying to bide his time. Like I said, we walked to him, near him on the sideline, and this kid is bigger than 6'3", I can tell you that. I'm 6'3", and I was looking up at him, JP, but, just almost a timely turnover for Kinston there.
Another fourth. Pressure. Oh, wow. But he gets it into the hands of his playmaker. Striving for the end zone. They're going to say he's down at the 1. Nearly another TD.
Oh,
as
wow.
Kendrick Raper was right there again, but he comes up just shy, though he does convert. Remember, this was a 4th down scenario now, so the conversion is as critical as anything right here.
Yeah, look at Farmer. He's just sitting back there, a little bit mobile. Look at this big fella. He's like a Ben Roethlisberger or something. People draped off of him, and he's still able to make the throw. And just, let's see here, we don't have the benefit of replay. Oh, yeah, we don't have the benefit. His knee did hit down, it looks like, JP, but not sure where the ball was. But in North Carolina high school football, there is no replay. So it'll be down at the 2-yard line there.
It'll be played as called. And they're set up after the Tip Top Roofing first down with the Air Experts Heating and Cooling red zone chance. Right on the doorstep of what would be an extension of that advantage. And by the way, while we've got a chance, let's tell you a little bit about Tip Top Roofing after that key first down conversion. Tip Top Roofing, well, 4 key values: faith, family, football. You're with them so far, right? And roofing. They take care of the things that matter most. We thank our friends at Tip Top Roofing for sponsoring the first downs in this initial quarter. 2:19 to go in the opening period. Shelby on the verge. It's 1st and goal as the Air Experts Heating and Cooling red zone opportunity is in effect. One thing on his mind. Land Farmer lunges ahead for the Shelby TD.
Yep, adds to that total once again. That was a great effort by Raper on that last play to try and get in there. But yeah, we hear Land Farmer. He's rushed for 13 touchdowns, make it now 14. 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds, maybe 250. You're not going to stop him, JP, not with 2 yards.
And now the kicker he has been for the last couple of seasons. Lines up another extra point, and before Grenier can put his foot into it, we've got a flag.
On the defense, number 7, half the distance to the goal, he played try.
And that will move Shelby a little closer. Does that change anything for you?
Yeah, it looks like the offense is coming back out on the field. Why not? You just have, about a yard, yard and a half to go. Maybe another dose of big number 8 there, JB.
Golden Lions sending the 2-point team out there. This is a team that's going to battle. Worked for the TD. Why not round 2? Conversion is good. 22-7, Shelby Golden Lions.
There you go. They're doing what they do, JP. Once again, just getting that bunch set, almost like a wing tee set, and he just picks his hole.
The most prolific passer in Cleveland County history, Land Farmer. And that's saying something when you think about the schools that are from that county playing in a state championship environment this weekend. Does it with the wheels on this drive. Caps it with a touchdown run. Adds to it a 2-point conversion. Here's the 9-play drive that took them 40 yards. And Shelby looking as if they have designs on trying to pull away here.
It seems so, JP. And, a splash play is going to have to happen for Kinston. Maybe on, a blocked field goal or extra point, or maybe even taking one of these to the house. But they're going to have to do something to get the momentum back on their side.
The original Grills kickoff goes out of bounds, and it's going to be good field position for Kinston. So there's the start of the spark it need right there.
Yeah, it certainly is, JP. I mean, you got to get something going, You're running that spread, and you're limited from a defensive perspective. I'm thinking you're limited in what you can do. Shelby's just running man and sending the house.
Free kick in front. Kinston.
Well, if it's any consolation, a lot of teams have been limited from a defensive perspective along the way. They scored 70 on one occasion. They scored 90 on one occasion this year, these Shelby Golden Lions.
Yeah, they know how to put points on the board, JP, and they're only giving up 19 points a game, giving a point differential of about 28 points.
That was a 90-0 victory over Highland Tech. And Eric, it came after they lost their first two games to Kings Mountain and Crest. You think they were happy about the 0-2 start?
Not at all. You can be rest assured they came into that game a little bit angry, JP.
Showed it in week 3 after falling to their two rivals, the Crest team that'll play a little bit later here tonight, 31-24, and Kings Mountain 30-14. But it has been downhill ever since for this Shelby squad in terms of scoring. The return of the original Grills kickoff to just across the 20-yard line, and now Kinston to take over. Look at the journey in 2025 for this Viking squad. And obviously, the opener didn't go their way either, lost by a couple, but learned a lot early from a setback there against South Central, one also against White Oak, and boy, have they pieced it together in the playoff run.
Yeah, and the coach said they just stayed the course. They stayed the course together. They didn't panic. They leaned on each other in that senior leadership.
Learn they can play with anybody. Trying to do that with one of the standards in the state here today, and that Shelby defense right where it needed to be. Quickly on the scene is No Dame. Take a look at the 3-year starter.
Yeah, there you go. Just following the flow, shooting the gap when he sees an opening. You know, he has 99 tackles, make it 100 now, 26 tackles for loss, but 15 sacks, JP, so they get after the football.
Give credit to Noah Gartner, who also was right there among the first on the scene. A couple of the key contributors for Shelby. Second down from behind the sticks, and that's incomplete. Well, a flag comes in at the very end of this. And that's going to provide a lift for Kinston, it would seem.
Yeah, DB may have gotten a little handsy.
Pass interference. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty.
And that'll help. You know, you do not expect this team to go away.
Right.
You get one more look at the interference call right here.
Yeah, he's got good. Yeah, got there just a little bit early, and you know, and that's what Coach Will Banks was saying. One of the keys to the game is just limit those penalty yards, and we see here, you know, just got there a little bit quick, about a half second too soon.
Kieran Thurman, he's a tremendous player on the defensive side. A couple of years into his time as a Golden Lion. But just, as you said, a little early getting there. Just going to say, you don't expect Kinston to go anywhere. This crew out of Eastern Plains knocked off the 1 seed.
Oh, my.
So they're going to keep coming at you. But this Shelby defense does nothing but come at you. Speaking of Gartner, there he is again.
Oh, my goodness. JP, when we see this replay, he just, I mean, he almost took his head off, it seems like. I mean, just, you know, just relentlessly pursuing the football and attacking it. And he, you know, he comes down the line of scrimmage and he gets there before the block can even get to him, JP. Fantastic play.
Madison will tell us a little more about the guy wearing jersey number 10 for the Black Crew.
Well, guys, that's exactly what this coaching staff likes about him. Said he's able to get to the quarterback when they need it most in this playoff runs, and they're going to need another big one from him.
Well, it looks like a big play here when Kinston needed it most. You know, Eric, we just finished talking about how you don't expect the Vikings to go away. They took down the top seed in the tournament in James Keenan 30-7 in order to get here. They are in no way intimidated by the Golden Lions, as evidenced by this Tatum and Atkinson TD toss.
That's right, and Shelby's just running, man, they're running man-to-man and sending the house, and mama, there goes that man, number 2, and Copper, making it 31 touchdowns. This young man here is ready for the next level.
Now remember, he came in chasing 91 yards. He has well handled that piece of business, has eclipsed it, and by virtue Just a couple of key catches at great distance. He now has a touchdown to go with it, is one away in that department from a record-setting day. Also, what a tremendous day it has been already for the guy who came in as the highlight performer, the put your finger on where he is at all times guy. You can see why Tyreek Copper has led this team to an impressive tournament run.
Yeah, and he's not panicking, JP. He says, hey, give me the ball, coach. Put the ball in his hands and watch the magic happen.
As we mentioned, the 119 yards he has already reeled up, more than the 91 he needed to become the all-time receiving yard single-season performer in North Carolina history.
Congratulations, young man. I'm sure we're going to be watching him play on Saturday afternoons sometime real soon.
He's a touchdown away from that mark as well. You would expect with a lot of football left here. Had a good chance of getting there. Perhaps more important than the individual accolades, Eric. In fact, more important than the individual accolades. His team, as you said earlier, needed a lift. They needed a spark, and he gave it.
That's right. Put it in the hands of that form or soon-to-be Wolfpack.
Well, historically, as we get the original Grills kickoff, these games played in that venue. Would have been a little preview along the way. Obviously, some scheduling challenges. And one thing you can say about this environment today is the intimate nature of this facility here at Durham County Memorial Stadium really highlights these two fan bases and the way they've shown up to fill the seats.
Sure does. It feels like a home game. Kinston makes a play, and you hear it, the shouts and the roars, and you feel that rumble. And likewise with Shelby. And I'm going to tell you something. Right now it's pivotal. Momentum seems to have shifted a little bit, JP. And then when you're dealing with high school football, the big Mo is very important.
He'll change sidelines from time to time.
It certainly does.
Got to keep an eye on where he's located. Got to keep an eye on where this guy's located. Farmer rolls out near side. He makes a man miss and knows exactly where the sticks are. You can move the chains. That is a tip-top roofing first down, perhaps the final tip-top roofing first down of the quarter.
What do you do with this young fella? Look here. I mean, he's sitting back there perusing the scene. That's one missed tackle, two missed tackles. Eyes still downfield, three missed tackles. He says, you know what? I'll just tuck it and run it. Almost like a Patrick Mahomes-ish look right there.
It's a great comparison. Don't you love it when the key contributors and the headliners coming in show up in a state championship environment? We've already seen that on both sides here today.
Certainly have, JP. And I'm going to tell you something, man. We call it at the beginning, at the onset. This is going to be, man, fireworks going off, man. Two high-powered offenses going at it.
And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. If it's any indication of what we're going to see here, you don't want to go anywhere. 3-8 title game, a good one after one.
Robert, go for more.
Hey! Hurt in the car wreck? Don't go up against the insurance company alone. Let the heavy hitters do it for you. Call 800-LAW-0804 and we'll go after all the money they should be paying you. Stay out of the courtroom and get into the end zone.
Call the heavy hitters. We're attorneys Tatum and Atkinson.
Call the heavy hitters. They'll work to get you more. 1-800-LAW-0804.
Have you been quoted for trench drain system to fix water intrusion? Before you compromise your foundation, talk to Foundation Solutions. We provide a more efficient, more cost-effective way to keep your basement dry. With 30 years of experience in Western North Carolina, we bring guaranteed work, financing options, and real peace of mind. Visit foundationswnc.com or call 828-768-2208.
Numbers speak to the type of quarter we just witnessed as we welcome you back to our 3A state championship broadcast, brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. What sticks out to you? What jumps off the stat sheet your direction?
Yeah, when I look at those stats, JP, they look kind of even except for rushing. You know, Kinston has minus 20 yards, and that, you know, this defense from Shelby, like I said, they have 160 tackles for loss now, so they attack the line of scrimmage. Time of possession is key. Shelby's almost half there.
Land Farmer throws a nice, crisp football to one of his playmakers, and Ramzura is working his way inside the 40-yard line. Another nice toss and catch, and that's good enough for a Tatum and Atkinson first down. Boy, he is so smooth.
Yeah, boy, this is tough. I mean, you know, they're man-to-man. He runs across, you know, runs a shallow cross, and nobody's covering him. You know, and he's running right across the defense, wide open, and, you know, they get a big chunk yardage.
You know, perhaps the most surprising part of this day is when you look at the Shelby QB. He's just going to have to get out of the way here, try to make some room for Woods. There's going to be little on this. Great defensive push from the Vikings there. But he ran for a first down a moment ago, did Land Farmer. You've seen what he can do in the passing game already. Perhaps the most surprising part of the day is here's a guy not solidly headed anywhere just yet. He's just beginning to receive some Division II offers. That's somewhat shocking when you're talking about the most prolific passer in the history of Cleveland County, one of the impact counties in North Carolina.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either, JP, when I think about it. Just looking around the state and all the colleges or universities we have here, and this fella throws a beautiful ball. Look at that.
Well,
for another touchdown.
I'm not going to say we're laying it out there for you, but if you're looking for a QB somewhere across the land, the guy wearing jersey number 8 for Shelby reminds us once more he's pretty special, and that is Roseboro again, with whom he makes the connection this go round for the Tatum and Atkinson TD, and this stands as one of our play of the game nominees.
Yeah, just look how comfortable he is. I mean, great catch by Roseboro there. You know, this young man goes up, he high points the ball, controls it, comes down, even though it bobbled a little bit, he just walks right into the end zone. Great throw and catch.
Extra point is true. A reminder, we will pick the play of the game, brought to you by Legacy Federal Credit Union. Before all is said and done, a Legacy in Wake Forest, we believe, and that's certainly a nominee to that end. The second effective connection with Roseboro today. Boy, the lore of Roseboro's playoff run continues to grow.
Yeah, and what I love, we just had a shot there, a farmer sitting down talking to his freshman running back, Jonas Woods. He said, hey, keep your head in the game. I got you. You keep working hard. That's leadership right there, JP. He just threw a touchdown pass, and the guy is sitting right next to him, and he's talking to the running back saying, hey, I don't know exactly what he was saying, but what I'm thinking, he's like, keep your head in it. We got you. You're going to get yours.
And he's doing the little things on a day that can make your future, E. You may not be on everyone's radar just yet. How you couldn't be is a mystery to us.
Right.
But on a day like today, if the right person is paying attention, it can change the entire ball game of your personal career, your future. Here's a young man that has the skills to make that a reality.
Most certainly can. And, you know, you hear nothing but praises from the coaching staff about this young man.
Yeah, they talk about how smart he is, what a competitor he has been, and the leadership, which you saw on display right there, that he provides. Vikings will respond up near midfield on the return of the Original Grills kickoff, the latest of our Original Grills kickoffs. Original Grills, elevate your grill game at Original Grills. Pretty good job returning it there by Kroom as we look back at that Shelby drive. 86 yards in just a handful of plays.
Yeah, they have about the same amount of plays as Kinston. Time of possession, Kinston has, you know, it's about 10 minutes now, and Shelby's about half that. They're very efficient, JP, and it boggles my mind how this young man has no offers yet.
Just beginning to see, as we said, some of the Division II type offers trickle in. You get the sense there may be a whole lot more than that. And on this play, there's going to be a whole lot more than what it initially appeared. And he's Done it again. Another record-setting moment for Tyreek Copper. You know, the playmakers have shown up, and they're taking care of business right away. He needed to match his jersey number on touchdowns today to set that mark. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, once again, it's another screen. They let him come through. Shelby knows what's going on, but there's the difference. D1, he's going to NC State. They're getting a good one. He's looking around and seeing, hey, is there anybody with me? And he steps across the goal line untouched.
You know, might be best when it all shakes out. Though it's an unusual situation for football until you get to the championship environment at the high school level, that they're playing on a Saturday, because you're seeing a lot of guys in this one who are no doubt going to make their marks on Saturdays in the days ahead. He'll be doing it in state, and he just pulled his Vikings ever closer.
Life can be tough. The daily grind, the pressures, the uncertainties, it all adds up. Let's be open and honest about our mental health. Let's support each other when we're hurting, because it's okay not to be okay.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of First Source Equipment Rentals and Sales in Mebane and Burlington. First Source Rentals, reliable, safe equipment rentals in Alamance County.
You can win a $1,000 scholarship. Scan the QR code on the video to sign up today.
Going to be a challenge to queue up all the highlights for the Foundation Solutions halftime report. You'll see the highlights as well as stats. We'll have an interview with Commissioner Q. Tucker of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. All that and more coming your way as a part of the Foundation Solutions halftime report. Yeah, these two teams sitting about one full possession separation after a back and forth through the first quarter plus of action. It's been a highly entertaining 3A title game thus far, and if you like playmakers, this one features many.
I love, got to point this out right here, JP. Look how he has the ball on the tee. I almost thought when the first time I saw that it was going to be an onside, but it seems that's how he kicks.
Just a preference. The way he opts to get the job done on the original Grills kickoff. Well, he's living up to the building. This is original.
That's right. About to run out of time on the play clock. Got it off.
Shelby's return from Raper has a seam up to the 35. That's about all, as he is met there. Somebody lost a helmet in the altercation, but got the job done in terms of making the stop. Isaiah Newton with a gutsy effort there.
Yeah, you got to love it, JP. This is the last game of the season. These seniors, it may be the last football game they play, so you can best believe they're going to give everything that they have.
Already a record-setting afternoon for Tyreek Copper. Now the record-setting quarterback of the Shelby Golden Lions, Land Farmer, takes his turn. His pocket presence grabs your attention right away, and he delivers this on target to Emmanuel Collins. That'll move the chains. That is a Tatum and Atkinson first down.
Yeah, Kinston's going to have to do something to get some pressure on him. You know, he's having just way too much time to sit back there and pick them apart. And it's almost like a 7-on-7, you know, and where you don't have any D linemen or offensive linemen, just the receivers and DBs running against each other. And he's got too much time back there. So Kinston's going to have to do something to get some pressure on that young man.
When you limit Roseboro, when you limit Raper, when you limit Ramseur, when you try to key on so many of these, This is what happens. Across the far side goes Jonas Woods, and he's got the first down and plenty more.
Yeah, what do you do, JP? It's like you're 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, man. They're not throwing the ball 40 yards down the field. They're running for another 20 or 30. Great call, and we saw, you know, during that break after the touchdown, he's sitting down talking to that young man. For what we don't know, but it looked like it paid off.
Now, he had his team in a tent last week when they were at Lincolnton. He said, I got in the tent, I told them, you know, they're like Revolutionary War guys. We're just going to battle here. We're coming out of the tent, we're playing football. They were on the road as visitors. They were dressing in the tent. They put together that Revolutionary War style battle to the tune of a 30-0 shutout in order to punch their ticket into the state championship environment. And why not? The town's named for a Revolutionary War hero. And we're coming up on year 250. This group of warriors continues to provide the punch.
Yep, just a little outside zone there by Woods. And once again, they move the chains. They're inside the red zone. JP looking to add another 6 to the scoreboard.
You know, this is a Shelby team that looks like they've been waiting for this moment for 4 years. 4 years is a long time for Shelby when you talk in terms of 18 appearances all time. They're making the best of it. Another toss to the end zone, this time incomplete, as Farmer was trying to connect with Calvin Ramsur again.
Yeah, just beyond his reach. You know, once again, Kinston got some pressure on him, made him a little uncomfortable, had him roll out a bit, and he was just a bit off target. That was great pressure by Kinston there. Just beyond his reach.
All settles into a second down from inside the Air Experts Heating and Cooling red zone. He's been good on this drive.
Yep.
Why not cap it? Jonas Woods has a touchdown run to go with all that high-flying air attack that Land Farmers put together. This Tatum and Atkinson touchdown is going to push Shelby further out front.
Further out front, JP. And yeah, just a little stretch zone. You'll run into the left and allowing him to pick his hole. All the linemen are doing is they're stepping left and they're running and blocking the next threat, and he gets an opportunity to select where he wants to go.
When you limit the wide receivers, you get another dose of Woods. When you handle Woods, so many different wide receivers coming your way. Shelby prolific, but how about this? Able to get some penetration and block the kick. There's a lift in what had been an 8-point separation at times.
There you go. And, you know, so now they don't have to chase that 1 point, JP. It's now even. All they have to do is just put another 6 on the board.
Now, it looked like Jamaris Poole, perhaps, who got in there, and it is.
Yep.
Watch Jamaris Poole come right up the middle. No problem.
There you go. I love it, JP. There's no quit in these young fellas. And he's a senior. Once again, this may be his last football game. He's giving it all he's got. Good job, young fella.
Yeah, another one of those. And as you said, that moment that you know is never coming back for the crew out of the Eastern Plains Conference. Making the trip from Kinston to battle it out for a state title. 110 miles to the stadium. They're about 300 miles away from Shelby when you talk about where these two teams are located out of the East. And then in the case of Shelby, down in, as we told you, Cleveland County, down near the state line on the other side of Charlotte. So and quite a journey for these two, and that's beyond the miles as we have our original Grills kickoff after the Shelby TD. Return to the 34-yard line, and that's about all that will be there for Chambers on the return. We were talking about the senior class for Kinston just a moment ago. For more on that topic, let's go down and check in with Madison.
Well, Coach Dieselman told me that that's what's fueled this postseason push. Last year, they made it to the 4th round of playoffs, got knocked out then, and immediately craved more. He said on the bus ride home, they told him they wanted to take it all the way this season, and he sensed that as early as spring practice. Since then, the competitive edge has been there, and this group playing their last possible game together, hoping to leave thumbprints on Kinston, guys.
Great stuff, Madison. And Eric, they've reeled off 5 wins in a row, including taking down the 1 seed James Keenan to get here in the state championship environment. So this is a team already having accomplished some things many might not have expected And they're staying right there with Shelby at the moment. That's a big lick here on the ball carrier, and this is the kind of football you're going to get in the 3A range.
Jaden
right?
Williams, I love it. Watch how he, man, it's just relentless pursuit. Watch it, boom, and he lowers the boom right there at the end, and he says, hello, I'm here. This is the state championship. We're looking to go home with the win.
Wiggins, good for a couple before that big lick, and I know anytime we get a defensive moment, the former Tar Heel linebacker is going to let you know about it. Eric loving what he saw there, and the offense answers. Falling down to the turf and still able to somehow reel it in is Pat Brown. That's good enough for a Tatum and Atkinson first down.
Yeah, JP, great concentration. He had plenty of time. He's running, he's falling back. He takes the contact and goes to the ground with the football. Great catch, young man.
I'm going to tell you something else. Derek Key was right there with him.
Yeah.
There wasn't much of a window, E, and somehow Pat Brown catches it as he's going to the turf. 8 and change remaining in the opening half. Looking downfield, and that's disrupted on the scene when he needed to be. Derek Key, whose name we called a moment ago, 4-year guy for the Shelby Lions D. He comes up huge in this moment.
Great timing. Yeah, it was great closing on the ball. Once again, quarterback has plenty of time. Threw it maybe a little too high, but great timing right there by Mr. Key.
The 2nd and 10 coming for the East champion in 3A, the Vikings of Kinston. To give both these coaching staffs credit, leaving nothing in the playbook today. Here's a nice wrinkle.
Yeah, good run, good
Rushing
run.
Forward, still digging and dragging him with him inside the 30-yard line. That's a gutsy, gutsy run and a tremendous, tremendous finish. And, you know, sometimes you lose the lid, but a lot more you gained along the way.
You think this game doesn't mean something to these young men, JP? You watch just the effort that he gets right here with this draw. You're taking advantage of that aggressive defense, and he's just running. He's moving his feet. He's pumping. That's Elijah, something he will not be denied. Look at this young man. This is, man, it's a highlight reel.
Well, you were just talking about the senior class a moment ago. We heard about it from Madison. Sumter, another of those. Now up top and snatching it out of the sky with one of the catches of the contest is Chambers. There's more than one wide receiver on this team, right?
Oh, my goodness, JP.
Chambers with a Tatum and Atkinson TD for the Vikings. It was a thing of beauty.
We talk about that big momentum, JP. There's a distinct feeling that Kinston says we are not going to be denied. Great job sitting in the pocket there by Jones, and look how he high points the ball. 2 defenders around him, JP, throws caution into the wind, comes down with the catch.
When these two teams met in the 2015 state championship environment, Shelby created plenty of separation. 10 years later, it's a shootout, and Kinston is staying right with them. 35-28 with 7:39 to play in the half. Our broadcast presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants continues when you return to Durham in just a moment. They're ready for a little football, probably wondering who the player of the game is going to be. We'll have time for that selection. The Affordable Dentures and Implants Player of the Game. Use your 2025 dental benefits now. Get the smile you deserve. You can find out more at affordabledentures.com. and you can find the practice near you. That's the Affordable Dentures and Implants Player of the Game to be selected prior to our conclusion. Don't you love it when the fans go all out?
Oh, yeah. It looked like an episode of Game of Thrones, maybe? I'm not sure with those Viking helmets. I love it.
One thing is for sure, the Vikings are here.
Yes, they are.
Right in it with Shelby, down just to score as they're set to kick it away.
There you go. Once again, the most unique kicking style in the state, dare I say maybe the country, but it's effective, JP.
Here's a return. And looking for room is the return man, Kendrick Rayford. Has it up near the 43, they'll call it the 44-yard line. That's where Shelby will take over after the original Grills kickoff. He's a dangerous return man.
Yeah, it looks like they had a right return set up, but he says, nah, we're going to go the other way just in case. And, hey, you know, gave him a great field position right close to the midfield. So good job, young fella.
After Xavier Kroon, you said it takes the unique approach to the original Grills kickoff. Well, kind of has the feel of your turn.
That's right.
Just kind of back and forth between these two. What will Shelby do to try and one-up Kinston now?
Oh, wow.
Deep shot. That mission accomplished.
Wow.
Emmanuel Collins, nobody in the neighborhood with 7:22 to play in the half.
You know what it looked like, JP, because looks like they had Copper on him. We see Copper there in the middle of the screen. He had him, but he's peeping in the backfield. Looked like he just ran right by him, untouched, into the end zone, JP.
With this Tatum and Atkinson touchdown here, you're reminded we've had as many plays in this one first half as sometimes fill up an entire championship weekend.
Right.
Remarkable what these playmakers have put together, and that's just the latest of the touchdown tosses by the best to ever do it in Cleveland County in terms of numbers, Land Farmer. Extra point, true. As Grenier puts it up and through, there are 7 minutes, 22 seconds on the scoreboard in what has been a wild first half, and with 7:22 to go, Shelby doing everything they can to keep the Vikings at arm's length.
Yeah, and the Vikings, man, they have to come out and take another strike, JP. We just had a fantastic catch by Brennan Chambers, the 6'5" senior, that he high-pointed the ball, went up over 2 defenders and made the catch. It's going to take that sort of effort all game, it seems, JP, in order for Kinston to stay close.
One thing we know about Kinston, they're not going to be held to that lower point total they had the last time these two teams met. They have already eclipsed the 21 points they scored in that previous championship environment. By the way, as Kinston is set to get the football back with the upcoming original Grills kickoff, worth noting this is a 4th appearance all-time for Kinston. They took on a group you're familiar with back in the 50s. Hendersonville, a 12-7 victory for Kinston in 1955. They fell to West Stokes in 2011, fell to Shelby in 2015. Those were the 3 prior appearances, and it gets a little bit testy this 4th trip to the state championship environment for the Vikings on the kickoff. There was a flag that came down, and credit our officials not only for handling that piece of business, but they also separated everybody really quickly.
Yeah, it's just, you know, they're still kids, young men. Excited, got emotional.
Now, you got to get the Hendersonville connection on the broadcast, right? And you don't date back to 1955.
Not quite.
But you do know what that community and football, and having coached there, having played there, having built your life there, an important place, I know, dear to your heart. And that's the moment for this Kinston squad when they went head-to-head with Hendersonville in 1955, the last time they hoisted a state championship trophy. So these Vikings, incredibly hungry, Eric.
Yeah, and I tell you, they're hungry in Hendersonville as well.
Absolutely.
5-yard penalty, free kick.
But yeah, it's, you know, hats off to them. You know, they battled hard to get here. And, you know, they're in a shootout right now, 28-42, and they have to put it in the end zone right here. But with 7 minutes to go to halftime, JP, it seems like we played 3 games already.
And we are just midway in the second period. And that one's going to go out of bounds. That means another flag will be necessitated. Of course,
penalty.
if you're wondering the reference we made, the pride of Hendersonville right here by my side, the former North Carolina Tar Heel, outstanding defender for Mac Brown in his first stint there here in the Tar Heel State. Eric Gash, of course, you'll remember that family name and the impact it's had in Hendersonville. You spent some time, as we said, not only as a player there, but as a coach there. You played in some state championship environments on the basketball side. You understand these moments very well. Put into terms what it means for these young athletes when they can rise to the occasion the way we're seeing these playmakers do today.
Yeah, they're making memories for the rest of their lives, JP. And, you know, the older you are, the bigger the story, the better you were, right? And, yeah, they're going to remember every play, every single second, the meal, the bus ride. And there's the young man, Chambers. My goodness, JP.
You do not have to embellish this moment. Chambers, who made the catch a moment ago, has to turn the kick for a touchdown here. And some of those moments, I'll underscore it, you don't have to talk it up. It was pretty incredible.
Absolutely. And you, JP, it couldn't have been more timely. They needed a play. They needed to get momentum back on their side. And this is the second re-kick, and he catches it. It wasn't even intended to go to him, but he says, hey, I got it. I'm going to take it to the house. Mama, there he goes once again, running down that field.
They will have to seriously consider putting it in the hands of number 5 the rest of the way. A kickoff return for a touchdown that makes it 34 on the board for Kinston. Back within 7 as Johnny Schultes puts it through the uprights. These teams continue to trade scores. Kinston Vikings have no intention of allowing Shelby to run off and hide in 2025.
What, 13 seconds goes off the off the scoreboard, JP? 35-42. I love it. And they, you know, I had for my keys to the game for Kinston is they were going to have a big play on special teams. And there it is.
Might have to consider multiple intermissions in this one if the pace continues. 22 Shelby points in the first quarter, 14 of them for Kinston. And both teams with 3 scores here. Kinston with 21 on the board in the second to Shelby's 20, and they're putting right on display for you that unique kicking environment you've discussed.
You gotta love it, JP. We knew it was going to be high-powered and high-flying, but who knew it was going to be this exciting? I love it. And still, with 7 minutes to go in the first half.
Easy to get lost in the moment and forget that somebody's going to be a champion and somebody's going to come up short at state on this Saturday afternoon. It's the state championship contest in the 3A ranks. Well, pretty good return on the Shelby side up near the 40-yard line for Kendrick Raper on the return. I've said it before, probably won't be the last time we communicate it this way today. Shelby's turn.
Yeah. You know, big-time moments require big-time players to step up. And we're seeing it on both sides of the football, JP. You know, both sidelines, I should say. Both teams, their players are stepping up just when they need it.
You know, and asking Coach Mike Wilbanks what made this edition of the Golden Lions different. His quarterback under pressure. He makes the connection with Emmanuel Collins. That's good for about 9. And he said this group has had a team mentality versus an individual mentality. And you'll see it on this play. So many different performers that they've been able to turn to along the way in this first half. It's not been that one guy, perhaps historically on some of the Shelby runs to a championship. Everybody doing their part every piece of the puzzle contributing.
Yeah, and, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the big fellas up front. That O-line is doing a fantastic job in giving him time.
They give him time again here. Bodies get tangled, and here comes the flag.
Yeah, that was pretty good coverage. Unfortunately, yeah, feet got tangled up a little bit. Forced the receiver to the ground, and Roseboro there. It's unfortunate.
Tried to get it to Roseboro right away.
Pass interference on the defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So after they march off 15, Shelby marches into Kinston territory.
Yeah, just playing the football and got tangled up, JP. Like I said, that's unfortunate. That was really good coverage. Yep, just got tangled the lower part of the body there. He was actually playing the football, you know.
Sometimes you do all you can, it just doesn't work out. That's the case for the defense this time around. Woods. I think it's about half of what's needed on first down.
Yeah, I mean, that was, you know, it was a good play by the offense, but I look at the defense as well. That was really good pursuit. Yeah, they gave up about 5 yards on it, but watch the white hats as they're pursuing the football down the line of scrimmage, you know, and they're getting there. 1, 2, 3, you know, they have the gang tackle. But I love the zone blocking that O-line, JP. I mean, he's got his holes to pick from, so good job from Woods there.
So much fun and gun in the last several moments. You forget how impactful Jonas Woods can be.
Yeah, he averages about 8 yards a carry. So, and he's a freshman, JP. Let's not forget that.
A lot of football left in his Shelby career. Well designed and well executed. That's Ramser again. He's down inside the 15. Sets up an Air Experts heating and cooling red zone chance.
And it looks like Kinston may have been playing man-to-man there, and you sneak that little wing across, that shallow cross in there, and they just can't keep up with him. Good execution.
Reminder, you can schedule your tune-up today at airexperts.com. That's Air Experts Heating and Cooling, sponsors of our red zone. To the 10. Actually stacked up at the 11 this time was Woods. Hey, the clock's running.
There you go. Hey, JP, and something I noticed there by the defense, real quick from Kinston, they're ripping at the football. And so, you know, there's a rule that we kind of had. First man there is going to wrap up. Next man coming in is going to attack that football. Try and knock it out of there, that peanut punch, try and knock it out there or rip their hand away from it. So we got to watch that defense. But that was a good job by Woods there and holding on to that ball.
End zone. Reeled in. Boy, great job by the receiver here just to go up top and pull that down. Kendrick Raper again.
Yeah.
With a Shelby receiving moment to remember, as this is the Tatum and Atkinson TD.
Yeah, just standing in there and almost like a little jump pass. Look at that. High points the ball once again, looks it in, and it's just like, hey, I could do this all day, fellas. Bring it on.
He becomes the 4th different Shelby Lion to receive a touchdown pass in this contest. He joins Roseboro, who has a couple, Ramser with 1, and Collins with 1. A reminder of just how many weapons Land, Farmer, and company are working with in building their advantage to 49-35.
This is the final score. It seems we're not even at halftime yet, JP. 4 minutes and 49 seconds to go. It seems like both of these teams still have a lot of offense left.
We're not even close to halftime yet.
Right.
I looked up a moment ago and was shocked that the clock was running. For the longest time, it was 10 seconds touchdown, 15 seconds touchdown. To go under 5 minutes to play with a doorstep of 50 secured by Shelby. What a day this has proven to be.
Yeah, you know, from an offensive coordinator's perspective, this is a dream game. They love every single minute of it. From a defensive perspective, I'm pulling my hair out. If I had hair, I'd be pulling it out right now, JP. Because, like, how can you stop them? How do you slow them down? How do you get pressure? And when you try and get pressure, they throw it over the top.
Yeah, the defensive coordinators in this game, forget the playbook. They got to go to the bus and get the textbook. Find something unique to try to stop these two high-powered offenses. Up across the 30, ball popped out, but they're going to say the return man was down.
Oh, wow.
That's a huge call.
That is. That was when you talk about shifting of momentum back. And he almost broke that.
Look at Jaden Williams. He says, what don't you understand? I got the football in my hands.
Right.
Of little consequence.
Coming through. I thought he was going to come out of that pile right at the last second there. Ooh. It looked like that ball came out, but once again, JP, we don't have the advantage of instant replay in high school football.
Well, you give Jaden Williams credit. Did everything he could to sell it, but it will be Kinston football. And that's important because remember, in this shootout, which we're currently locked, Kinston on every possession looking to keep pace to stay within one each time they score. One possession, that is. And this is going to be carried over the left side by Tyler Jones. There's a change of pace for
him. Yeah, it is, for sure. They ran like a little speed option. And like it had growing some legs. Now, you know, he got 7, 8 yards on the play. That's a successful play. But in a game like this, you need those big chunk plays.
Don't worry.
Yeah, it's coming.
They're there. This is intercepted. Just a little too tall for his target, and it ends up in his hands anyway.
That's right.
Jaden Williams made a bid for it moments ago. This time it comes on the INT. Now there is a flag down at the 30-yard line, but it appears to be holding, and that'll be declined.
Yep. And they have an old saying, football does not lie. Football does not lie, JP. I believe that's his second interception of the season. Yeah, just a little overthrow there, and he's Johnny on the spot. And dare I say, had he been able to keep his feet, he may have taken it to the house, JP. But he did the most important part, that is secure the interception.
Jaden Williams with the pick. And this defense that will mix up the looks and the duties that has put tremendous pressure on some of the best quarterbacks in North Carolina, particularly a really good one a week ago. Win over Lincoln. Has a takeaway here to hand it back to Farmer. He's going to turn. Hand it back to Woods, and midfield is where he is stopped.
Yeah, a little zone read, like a stretch zone to the right there. Just trying to pick his holes. Good pursuit by Kinston. You know, they're not out of this. They got to, you know, keep their heads up, keep fighting.
You ready for these numbers? 32 plays, 395 yards for Shelby in the first half. They are 5 yards from making it a 400-yard first half offensively.
You think they'll get another 5 yards, JP, to get that 400 yards there? He could run for it right there, but instead he's going to throw deep. Looks like he's got his receiver.
There's your 5 yards.
There you go.
And a whole lot more. Now waiting for the official signal. He had the football in the end zone. Roseboro certainly of the belief it's a touchdown, but our official's going to talk about it. And Kinston is continuing to play just in case it's of little consequence.
Yeah.
Hands are raised. It is a touchdown.
Yeah, not sure. Yeah, not sure what happened there as to why he thought it was a.
Well, you didn't get a touchdown signal from the officials. When they came in to talk about it, Kinston said, why not? We'll take it for a spin. But it is, in fact, after they discussed it, a Shelby TD. Here's another look at the catch, which will stand as Roseboro's latest TD. He lost it at the very end of this, Eric, as he went to the ground.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But clearly he had it long enough for it to be a touchdown, it would appear. And our officials just wanted to make completely sure before they indicated it. And it took them a moment to do so.
But yeah, credit Kinston, you know, they said, hey, man, while y'all are talking about it, let me give you something else to think about.
Appears as if maybe the official on the far side was shielded by the body of the defender. And could not see Lorenzo Roseboro complete the catch. How about the hat trick for Roseboro? His third receiving touchdown of the 2025 state championship. And just as the extra points have been to this point, Another one from Grenier, true. And there are 56 on the board from Shelby in what has been a 400, now nearly a 450-yard first half offense.
Yes, sky's the limit. I mean, they're, what, 91 points already, JB. We may have 120 points. Who knows? You know, like an NBA game out here. You just never know. The scoring is not ceasing. And it's 3 minutes to go until halftime. 365 yards, 6 touchdowns, Land Farmer. Hats off to that young man.
And here for the first time, Eric, after the turnover on the interception, Shelby has a little bit larger lead here, a little bit more breathing. Remember, Kinston had been playing in a scenario where each touchdown they score pulled them back within 1. No longer the case after the pick a moment ago.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something big right here. Maybe take it to the house. Hey, how about giving it to number 5 there, Brennan Chambers, and let him do something with it.
Original Grill's kickoff will be returned from the 5. Had to check his footing and gets up to the 25-yard line. Does the return man prove. You know, the other piece of it, obviously the offense has to go to work right now, is at some point, somehow, some way, Kinston has to stop Shelby somewhere.
Yeah, you got to stop him. And, you know,
working on that strategy, no doubt, as we speak.
Yeah, keys to the game, you know, for Kinston was stay hot on offense. In other words, keep the ball, sustain drives. Now, of course, if you can score quick, you want to do that. But they can't stop him on defense right now. They cannot stop Shelby, so they're going to have to start taking some chances on some chunk plays right here.
Tyler Jones looking to shake off that interception a moment ago. They'll throw it underneath, but met by Noden, who was waiting. Called his name a couple of times in this one. Grady Noden, who is 3 years into his tenure on that defense for Shelby. Of course, we could call his name on just about every play. Noah Gartner, who's right there to help out as well, wearing jersey number 10. Running for his life, and that is caught, but he was already down at the 21. So here comes third down from behind the sticks.
Yeah, and what Shelby's doing on that last play there, they had 2 on number 2, right? On Copper, they said, yeah, he's not going to beat us deep. And so they had 1 man in his face and then 1 man over top, right? So they're going to make sure they try and keep him in check. He is a D1 talent going to NC State, and so they wanted to make sure that they don't give him an opportunity to get loose.
You know, if your numbers in the first half are 23 plays run for 260 yards, you like your chances
feeling
to be
pretty
out
good
front,
about yourself.
to be out front. Instead, they find themselves down a few scores here.
Yeah.
Still been an impressive half for Kinston.
But you're right, JP. Under normal circumstances, you're excited. You're happy about that. But not when the other team has 400 yards of total offense.
If you want to know a little more about how they've racked up all this yardage, stick around at the half. We will have the Foundation Solutions halftime report. We'll hear from Commissioner Q. Tucker. See those highlights, stats, and a whole lot more coming your way. That's the Foundation Solutions halftime report. We're going to need the break. Fans are going to need the break,
right,
just to catch their breath momentarily in what has been a high-powered 3A state title game. 2 minutes between here and there.
That's amazing. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is not the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. The final 2 minutes of the first half. The first half, JP. That score is 35.
6-35 on the board. They reset the game clock to 2:08. And Jones facing third down. He needs the 34-yard line to move the chains. And they'll throw this toward the near side hash. Was trying to get it to Copper, but it's incomplete, fourth down.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do, JP? It's 2 minutes to go, and do you punt and give the ball back to Shelby? I mean, yeah. Or you go for it? Do you sling the ball down the field, hope they intercept it and trip? I don't know. It's of course they're going to go for it right here, but you don't have a whole lot of 4th and 13 plays in the bag.
And here is the pooch.
Oh, wow.
Take a hop at the 45.
And it hit him.
Did it hit the Shelby player?
It had to, yeah.
What a takeaway this would be for Kinston. They're talking about it.
Oh, yep. Shelby
They'll
ball.
say Shelby football. Boy, it just seems right now the Vikings have a hard time catching that one break that could flip it a bit.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about momentum, and I mean, it seemed that the ball hit him. I think the ref is saying, well, he was pushed into the ball. I don't know if that really matters if you're pushed into the ball or not. But as we look at the replay there, oh, yeah, it hit him. It definitely did hit him. So, yeah, twice, 3 times, 4, I don't know, 5. It's right around his leg. As it bounced up right there, you see it hit his right arm, and that should be Kinston football right there.
And then the right knee as well.
Yep.
It will be Shelby's at the 46. Again, no review in high school football, so it stands as called with what the officials see on the field. Timeout is being taken. Second of the half, taken by Kinston. You know, for Kinston, they're going to have to find a way at the half to somehow slow Shelby. That we've documented, that we've talked about. That's been the challenge for 3A teams and even teams in other classifications all across 2025. Right now, in order to keep yourself within striking distance, this becomes a very important moment for your defense. This is a team that has overcome adversity all season long. They talked about the highs and lows and how they battled together, stayed the course, and found a way. They need to do that across the last 154 of the half.
Yeah, and that's a tall order, you know, because Farmer has all day to, to stand back there and sling the ball all over the yard. And the receivers, I mean, you can only cover for so long, no matter if you're in man or zone. But you want to try and get some extra pressure on them that's going to force you to go man to man. But when you do that, it puts your DBs in a precarious position.
Let's give a little love to T. Hollifield, Malachi Guest, Brett Morgan, A.J. Wisnett, and Kryshun Harris. That's the group up front for Shelby, making sure Land Farmer has all day. Oh, boy. A rare underthrow there for Farmer, or we would have been looking at a whole lot more for Shelby.
Yeah, and that looked like it was a busted assignment, not sure. But that was he was running wide open. How does number 0 run wide open down the middle of the field? Or down that left hash? I mean, there was nobody within 15 yards of him.
If you're just finding us, Land Farmer, the most prolific passer in Cleveland County, North Carolina history, and that's saying something. Remember, Shelby and Crest both playing for the state today from that county, and you know of their storied histories. Has hit 4 different receivers for touchdowns in this game, including Roseboro, who has been the catalyst in the playoffs for a trio of them. That's how Shelby has built this 56-35 lead.
10-yard
This will back the Golden Lions up just a bit, but
yeah, they need a splash play right here. Yeah, it's just zone to the left, a little stretch zone there. They need a splash play, maybe a scoop and score, maybe a pick 6, maybe a sack fumble, something. But they have got to keep the pressure up on Shelby right here, at least to try and get the ball back into the hands of their offense to see what Jones could do. A little bit of pressure. That's what it's going to take. It's hard to take that big fella down, but that's exactly what they're going to need to do, JP.
Takes it down to 80 seconds in the half. Timeout taken.
Yep, we see him here. He's got a little bit of time, but he can scramble, both hands on the ball, securing that football. Great pursuit. Watch as the White Hats get there. Great pursuit by that Kinston defense. They're going to have to continue to do that, not just at the end of the half here, but it's going to have to continue into that second half and third quarter.
But here's the start of what they needed.
That's right.
This is the beginning. Take us inside the huddle on both sides.
Yeah, so Shelby's thinking like, all right, fellas, we just got to take care of the football. There's not a whole lot of 3rd and 20 plays that you have in your arsenal, right? But you just want to take some time, right? maybe throw a little crossing route or something. Just get some positive yardage here. And if I'm Coach Gieselman over there, I'm saying, all right, first man is going to wrap him up. Next man, attack the football. Try and rip it out of there to scoop and score, something like that. Drive hard on the football. If your big guys up front, going to have to get some pressure. Stay in your lanes and kind of constrict on Farmer to see if you can maybe get a sack. But you can't go down another score going into the half because it's going to be blood in the water for Shelby.
This is the third down. They need the 35 on the other side of the field.
Yeah, Shelby, that tight trips to the left there. You know, once again, just going to try and get some positive yards here to get out of this first half.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, throwing across. That's a big-time throw. Oh, I thought he had that. That was a big-time throw there, JP. Across the field from one hash to those other numbers. Farmer has a strong arm, and it shows, you know, by the numbers that he's thrown up. Once again, he's got all the time in the world. Rolling right, throwing back left, and almost had that. That should have been caught. He thought he had it, but it would have been a great conversion.
So here's that Kinston stop, and it's something to build on at the end of the half.
That's exactly right. Got a minute left, and you're right, JP. Maybe a splash play here. How about this? Take one to the house, right? Get the onside kick, and you just never know what may happen.
On the field with the Shelby punt.
Yep, that was a good punt. Goes out at about the 13-yard line, 13, maybe 14-yard line where Kinston's going to take over.
With 1:01 to play in a wild first half. How do you put into words what we've witnessed in this first half?
Amazing, outstanding. We said it at the beginning, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a lot of fireworks, and they have not disappointed. And once again, if you're tuning in, it's not 1 minute left in the game. It's 1 minute left in the first half with 56-35, Shelby Golden Lions up over the Kinston Vikings.
Over 700 combined yards. You can see that they're 90+ on the board points-wise. Looking for more.
That's what you need. He's got to take it to the house.
Beautifully drawn up. And you know him by now. There's young Mr. Chambers again.
That's right. He had that spectacular catch, which may be up for a catch of the game or play of the game. Once again, you see Jones just stepping right in there, throwing it. Great throw and catch, but also great pursuit by number 12 there, Jaden Williams, bringing down and presenting that touchdown.
Well, not only the stop they needed, a chance to take a bite out of the lead with 43 seconds to play.
Got to get it in. Get out of bounds if you can. Stop some of the clock.
Great adjustment to the football by Wiggins. He does get out of bounds.
Yeah, there you go. And looks like Kinston has at least one timeout left with 30 seconds. They can still put this in the box, JP, and change the complexion of this game.
Remember, that's Genesis Wiggins who started all the scoring earlier. He makes the nice play here to set up 2nd and 4. It's his 3rd catch for 21 yards. And, of course, the aforementioned touchdown.
He's looking for Copper on the slant, but Shelby gets home with the sack.
That's Tyson Williams getting in there to provide the stop.
Yep, 3 sacks on the year. That's number 4 for him. He's got 19 tackles for loss. Once again, they're just constricting. Great bull rush by number 10 there, Gardner on that right side.
And Tyler Jones is staying down. He has not yet worked his way to his feet.
You hate seeing that, JP. Regardless of the position, regardless of who it is, man, you hate seeing these young men. They've worked so hard in the offseason with working out. They've stayed in, you know, they're student athletes. And you just hate seeing that. We hope that young man is okay.
Training staff out to tend to the QB. And his team in striking distance once again after the first defensive stop, in essence, of the game for Kinston.
Yeah, you hope he's okay. He's on the ground. Good thing he's moving. He's up on his feet. That's always a good sign. Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him or something like that, but look like he's favoring that arm, that left shoulder.
You talked about him, a guy with 4,000 yards. When you talk about his impact this year, have to have him back there. But you see he does get kind of...
Maybe got pinched between you know, two players or something. He's up and walking. That's a good sign.
Well, everything brought to a halt with 25 seconds to play. What's available to Kinston here on 3rd down?
Wow. Depends on who they're bringing in at quarterback. They may have to run that wildcat. It looks like Kroom is the backup. And, you know, it may just be a handoff here. Not sure if he's thrown any passes this year. I think he has 1 attempt, but we're going to see it.
Comes near side. Well, why not? With the type of first half it's been, why not? They bring in Michael Eaton, a freshman QB, and he tosses it up to the corner. The prayer answered.
Why not, JP? I mean, why not? Look at this throw and catch. Throws it in 1 pass, 1 catch. I believe it's for the state record. Look at that. He just backs into the end zone. Congratulations, Mr. Copper. That was awesome.
Remember, he needed 2 to equalize. That is the hat trick for Copper. Doesn't matter who's at QB. Number 2 is pretty special.
That's awesome. Congratulations, young man. He has the record for those touchdowns. JP, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Here we are.
He came in needing 91 yards to grab that record. By the way, he's sitting at 171. He's going to double that today, it would seem. And then some. And he came in needing a couple of touchdowns to equalize. That's his 3rd, to stand alone with the state record in receiving TDs.
We had a doink, JP. It doinked off the right upright.
Off the mark with 11 seconds to play. Well, records, an amazing piece of the story today. A young freshman QB comes in, tosses a touchdown. An amazing piece of the story today. But big picture, E, they had to have a stop, and they got it. They needed an answer with a score, and they did.
And they got it. And they're only down 2 scores at 56-41. It's amazing. And once again, it's 11 seconds to go in the first half, people. Not the game, just the first half. We're almost at 100 points.
Now, I know we're 2 hours into the football game, practically, at this point. But there's a whole half of action to go.
Shelby's already scored 90 points this year so far. Maybe it'll be a 90-80. Who knows, JP?
Had a 90-0 win on the 5th of September against Highland Tech. Scored 62 against Cherryville, 67 against Bessemer City, 70 against McMichael, and 65 against East Rutherford. The explosive nature of the Shelby offense, well documented.
I'm still amazed at that kickoff style. And here we go. Can we get another one before half?
Here goes Kendrick Raper. He brings it back near side into Kinston territory. And now you run the risk that all the good work Kinston did a moment ago is hanging in the balance if he would have been able to bring that back. But he's out and the clock expired here.
We think.
Let's see if they adjust that in any way.
Yeah, I think he said put a couple of seconds on the game clock, which means, hey, there's time for another score.
No.
1 second on the game clock.
If you're wondering about it, we've already seen a pair of one-play drives in this contest.
Yeah, nothing would be surprising anymore in this game, JP, from an offensive perspective.
You certainly know Land Farmer can get the job done with just one crack at the end zone. They put a single second on the game clock. And the team's going to talk over this last play of the half. Well, why wouldn't this half last just a little longer?
Exactly. You know, if I'm Coach Gieselman, I'm like, hey, I'm putting my best 4 on the heels on the goal line so that nobody gets in this goal line. I'm rushing everybody else, JP. I don't know. What do? You know, it's 1 second to go. It's 56 points they've already scored. You know, who knows what will happen here?
Game plan's one thing and reality's another. You can probably tell, those of you listening at home, the game plan up here was save the voice a little bit today.
Right.
Not happening in a 2-hour first half with 97 points currently on the board. Just remarkable. And it's why we love the opportunity to be in these state championship environments year in and year out, because you come and you never know what you're going to experience. It's been a record-setting day. It's already been a historic day. We know it's going to be a championship day. And the narratives unfolding in this first half, they've been something special to see.
Here we go, 1 second, JP.
1 tick on the clock. And it goes to number 1, and here's Collins.
All right.
He is out of bounds, and is that the end of the first half?
We think there's no dirty laundry on the field. Teams are going toward the locker room. It seems like it is, JP.
Everybody looking around to make sure. They rise to their feet on both sides, applauding the effort of these offenses. Shelby will carry a 56-41 advantage into the intermission. Kinston battling to stay right there with them. Your impressions of this first half before we hear from Coach?
Oh, my goodness. That's my impression. I mean, I knew it was going to be high flying, but wow.
All right, we have the Shelby head coach standing by with Madison.
Well, Coach, why was this offense able to keep the pressure on in that first half?
Just great execution by, Land being comfortable back there. Offensive line doing a good job, and got guys making plays. I mean, throwing balls up. All receivers are making plays. Their receivers are making plays, and man, it's like some video game numbers right now. I've got to find somebody to get a stop on either side. Probably both sides are just hoping for a stop. Not many punts in this game.
How do you get a stop in the second half?
Well, we'll make some adjustments. I mean, I think we got a good game plan, but I think the Copper kid and the 5 for them are really good players, and the quarterback's giving them a chance. They're going up making plays. We're in a good spot. We just got to make the plays, and that's what a game like a state championship game comes down to. 5 or 6 plays is going to determine the outcome. We just got to make some of those plays.
Thanks, Coach.
Right,
back to you guys.
It is the revenge of Tecmo Bowl. And there are no 10-yard fight scenarios here. No. It has been a high-flying first half for the 3A title game. And, when you got a 2-hour first half, you're going to have a couple minutes of your highlight package. You'll see that and a whole lot more coming your way as the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report is next.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
You're watching the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report. Foundation Solutions. It won't cost you to get a quote from us, but it could cost you thousands if you don't. Call today or visit foundationswnc.com.
Hey everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to this state championship high school football game. Joining us today is our good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Taylor Newhouse. Taylor, are you loving the game so far?
Absolutely, it's been a fun one to watch.
It has been a fun one to watch. Now, what are you anticipating? An explosive finish, I hope?
We always hope for an explosive finish, but definitely an interesting game.
All right, we got to talk at the end of the game then.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about high school athletics in general, because from what I understand, Ingalls Markets, y'all have had a long-standing and robust partnership, not just with our organization, but the entire community as a whole. Let's talk about the dynamics of that partnership.
Absolutely. We kind of gravitate towards athletics because we feel like it's a great way to reach our communities. But we're with these kids all the way from that first day of elementary school all the way through college. So we're really following them. But athletics is a good way to bring it all together because everyone loves a Friday night football game.
They do indeed, including you and I. That's
Absolutely.
Right. So it sounds like you guys really do bridge that link between academics and athletics. Am I correct to assume that?
Yes, definitely. We're there to support children through their entire educational experience.
Speaking of supporting children, y'all have people who come into y'all stores and end up working for y'all, people who you go to church with. I mean, this really is a tight-knit community. Is that right?
Absolutely. Ingalls is a beacon in all of our communities. And we love to get people in and out of the store, especially these kids that are working at our stores, our athletes and students in the schools that we support as well.
That's indeed right. Well, Haley, you know what time it is. It's time to get back to some football.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll see you guys next time on Friday Night Rivals.
So, you gonna play this week?
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 You gonna play this week? You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
And welcome to the Ingalls Game of the Week as the War Horses square off against the rival.
He's going in.
He's going in. Go, baby!
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
You're watching the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report. Foundation Solutions. It won't cost you to get a quote from us, but it could cost you thousands if you don't. Call today or visit foundationswnc.com.
Commissioner Tucker, thank you for your time. Another exciting week with the state championships here.
It is almost unbelievable that here we are getting ready to crown champions in football when it just seems like we just started the season.
This year began the 8 classification system. Why the change? How has it been working? And do you foresee any adjustments for next year?
Well, this is the last of a fall championships where we will crown 8 champions based on the new 8 classification system that our board approved. So far, so good. And for this weekend coming, we have 3 outstanding venues.
There are plenty of familiar names in this year's championship. What do you think makes these programs successful year in and year out?
Well, I think first and foremost, those coaches recognize that what we do is called education-based athletics. And it's about providing teachable moments. It's about teaching young people the core values of sportsmanship, integrity, and honesty. And I believe that those coaches understand how to navigate that kind of balance.
What do you think has been the biggest challenge for the association this year?
Well, I think always a big challenge for us is trying to help everybody understand the role of sportsmanship in what we do. It's been an ongoing theme of trying to keep that front and center of what we do. And of course, as I mentioned, we do have the 8 classifications in this alignment period. And so just trying to secure those venues has been a challenge.
And can you discuss those new venues and kind of some of the highlights of the new opportunities for these athletes to play in?
Well, of course, the mainstay is UNC and Kenan Stadium. They've been a site for us for many, many years. The association grew out of the University of North Carolina, and that's one of the reasons that our office is based in Chapel Hill, and one of the reasons that we continue to hold our football championships here. So they're still on the docket. And then, of course, NC State had some conflicts that we could not work around. So we reached out to some other venues, and Lenore Ryan University said, hey, let's talk. And so their Moretz Stadium has been made available to us. We're excited about being in that part of the state. And Durham County Stadium also stepped to the plate and said, let's talk, let's see what we can do. And so we look forward to that.
And education-based athletics is a policy that's very important to you. How do we keep the balance in today's ever-changing sports climate?
It is about learning how to be a young person, how to grow into that young adult. And if we've done our job, we have those young people poised and ready to be able to go on and make a difference.
Commissioner Tucker, thank you for your time as always, and enjoy championship weekend.
Thank you so much.
The North Carolina High School Athletic Association welcomes you to tonight's game.
We are excited to celebrate the hashtag NCHSAA Game Locked In, which honors everything that makes high school sports special.
Let's continue to create a positive, welcoming environment for everyone. Cheer loudly, support your team, show respect to officials, opponents, and each other.
Let's make tonight's game one to remember, full of pride, positivity, and what it means to be truly locked in.
You just witnessed the highest scoring first half in the 112-year history of North Carolina high school football state championship environment. 56-41 Shelby at the intermission, and I'll underscore it, never in over a century of football in this state championship environment have there been more points scored in what was a nearly 2-hour first half. With that, we welcome you back to Durham alongside my broadcast partner, Eric Gash, Jason Patterson here with you. So it lends itself to a highlight package, Eric, that's going to be a little longer than usual, but you're going to see the playmakers you expected to see coming in here because, boy, have the stars shined in this 3A title game.
Yeah, JP, you know, starting out here, we see the young man Wiggins. I mean, you know, look at the balance. Look at the yards after contact. He will not be denied.
This was the genesis of it all. Genesis Wiggins with the touchdown to get it started, but it was only the beginning.
Yeah, and it's almost like Shelby says, oh, okay, anything you can do, we can do just as good with Roseboro. They're one of his 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a trio of tosses from Land Farmer, who hit 4 different wide receivers for TDs along the way.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like it's almost like a 7-on-7, JP. We're seeing, you know, pass after pass. We see that power run there from Farmer, would not be denied. And you have Jones on the other side doing the same thing to the NC State commit right there. We have Copper with his touchdown.
He made it a record-breaking first half. He eclipsed the yards mark with ease, and he also set a new touchdown mark for a single season. But this was one of those key moments for Roseboro.
Yeah, just walked in the end zone, high-pointed the football, and the way he went. And here's Copper again. This young fella, look, he's looking around to see who's with me. Oh, I need to kick it into an extra gear to get in. Touchdown.
Record breakers, highlight performers, everybody a contributor. Here's Jonas Woods with
There's a freshman. There's a freshman Woods just picking his hole and saying, hey, calm down, we got this.
Now, late in the half, this catch caught your attention.
Yeah, Chambers almost, it's like he went up another level. Everybody was at, 6 feet, he went up to 6'5".
Why not get another receiver involved? Here was Collins with a receiving TD.
Yeah, it's like you can't stop him. And here we have Chambers once again. Not only can he catch them, he can also run them. Look at this young fella. He's taking it stride for stride, one stiff arm, tightrope on the sideline, and away he goes.
Well, if you're going to have 97 points in the first half, you're sure to have a special teams TD. That was it. This is one of several key moments for Kendrick Raper, and then back to work goes Farmer.
Yeah, just when you think they can't score anymore, can't do anything else, away they go. And, credit to the offensive line for Shelby, as well as for Kinston. They're giving the quarterbacks time.
You add it all up after that one from Copper. It is 97 points. We told you it's well over 700 yards. The numbers are eye-popping. You would expect to see this at the end of a football game, but we're about to kick off the third quarter.
Yeah, 455 yards in the first half. Total yards for Shelby. And 345, I'm going to tell you something. If I had that for a game, I'd be happy with that. But we're just looking at the first half, JP.
That encapsulates a historic moment. Looking back at the highest scoring first half in North Carolina State Championship history. What will the third and fourth quarter hold? You'll find out when our broadcast presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants continues from Durham in a moment.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of Cook Rentals. Now in 5 locations across North Carolina. Cook Rentals, renting the smart way to get things done.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of First Source Equipment Rentals and Sales in Mebane and Burlington. First Source Rentals, reliable, safe equipment rentals in Alamance County.
56-41. As we are set to begin the third quarter, we heard from one of our coaches going to break. Time to get the thoughts of the other coming out of the locker room. Here's Madison.
Well, Coach, you just told me that Tyler Evans is good to go. What more do you need from your quarterback in this second half?
We got to do a better job of keeping him upright, let him make his reads and progression so he can make some plays and get the ball to our guys so they can go make plays. And we need some stops defensively as well.
Yeah, how do you continue to make their quarterback uncomfortable?
Yeah, we got to get to him. We got to get some more pressure to him, and when we get to him, we got to bring him down. We struggle with that. But if we can do that, I think some good things can happen.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Big thank you to Coach Ryan Gieselman. Also, prior to the halftime show, going into the break, Mike Wilbanks stopping and visiting with us as well. Great work, Madison, to get the thoughts of those two head coaches on a historic day. Now, you're wondering about it, no doubt. In 2021, earlier this decade, Dudley and Rose combined for 109 points. That was in the entire game. 60-49 was the final in the Dudley win. That is the high water mark points-wise in the history, the modern history of North Carolina State Championships. There was a team that scored 117, but you're talking the first few years ever in the history of North Carolina high school football. 109 is the modern era record for total points. Eric, it's full game. We're going into the second half with 97 on the board.
JP, I don't know if any of these teams can score again this half. Of course, I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, what do? You know, if I'm Coach Wilbanks, I'm like, hey, fellas, y'all need anything to drink, massage your hamstrings or something, just to get them. Kinston hadn't stopped them yet, right? And, you know, likewise with Coach Gieselman, it's like you have to get number 8 on the ground. You have to get to him. You have to disrupt him. You have to make him uncomfortable on his spot. But right now, this young man is balling.
So you saw the indicator, if you weren't with us when we talked about it earlier, that's the most points in a first half in North Carolina High School Athletic Association championship history. All we need, a touchdown apiece, and today becomes the most points in the modern history of a single championship game. Remarkable what we've seen already.
So what you're saying is we are witnessing history right here, right now, live and direct.
With more to come.
More to come.
Not only the history-making, record-breaking day some of these individual performers are having, but what you've seen in terms of scoring right there as well. Sun continues to illuminate Durham County Memorial Stadium as we go back to work in the third. Kinston had the football first, so it'll be Shelby to set up shop just shy of the 20 after that return. How can you? There are not words to describe the first half this young man, Land Farmer, had for Shelby.
Yeah, that's a game, maybe 2, right? 6 touchdowns, 375 yards, only on 15 completions, JP. That's phenomenal, right? Now, Kinston coming out, they had a good stop on special teams. If they can 3-and-out them right here and get the ball and score, it's going to change the complexion of the game, but they have to stop them first, JP. And get him on the ground. That's a big fella.
Easier said than done. He'll slide forward after the first down, and for 34, a quick tip-top roofing first down, and the guy who's been in tip-top shape today does it this time with the wheels.
Once again, and I'm not saying that he is, but this is some Patrick Mahomes sort of moving, you know what I mean? He's stiff arm and he's using his legs, he's keeping his eyes downfield. I mean, that's a big kid. Like I said, we walked beside him on the track. There's no way he's 6'3".
Very little interest and no offers until just a few weeks ago when some Division II teams started looking his direction. Probably a whole lot more now. And how about Ramser doing a nice job to bring in the one-handed grab?
Yeah, and like I said, no way he's 6'3", he's probably 6'5". But yeah, head down the field. He puts the ball in the position where his guy can catch. It was a little behind him, but hey, he makes an awesome catch. One-handed grab, brings it in. They're doing this all the time now, and he's 7-on-7, so this is like pitch and catch for him.
Yeah, 7 does it with ease. Yep. Just a reminder how many different playmakers the Golden Lions of Shelby have utilized in this one as they pursue the latest of their titles to begin the second half. Think on this, 18th appearance for Shelby. 12 state championships, looking for number 13 here today. First trip in 4 years, and they're looking to become champs for the first time since that 2021 victory over Wallace Rose Hill. Just a storied program, writing the latest chapter in their amazing football history. Here goes the freshman. Another give to Jonas Woods, and he'll move the chains with a tip-top roofing first down.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not broken, JP, don't fix it. You know, I like on that last play, Kroom tried to make a play for the ball, but yeah, that's just a little inside zone. I mean, he's running, 5, 6, 7 yards without even being touched yet. He's covering that ball up, 2 hands going through the hole, so he's hearing in his mind too. They're trying to get the ball. He's saying, not on my watch.
Woods with a tremendous average, 12 of them at 80 yards, and that is caught by Collins down at the 15. Sets up an Air Experts heating and cooling red zone chance for Shelby.
Yeah, JP, it's just too easy. It's just there's very little pressure on Farmer, and his receivers are having time to make their breaks and run their routes clear across the field, and it's just pitch and catch.
Woods bending and twisting down to the 1-yard line. That is another tip-top roofing. First down, tip-top roofing. Sponsors of our first downs here in this third quarter. We got to keep an eye on Woods here, as he was a little slow to get up and now is going to go back to the turf.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Yeah, it's just going through. It looks like right at the end there, defender may have grabbed it. I'm not sure, like he twisted it. Yeah, like he's laying on it as he takes him to the ground. Just an innocent, as a tackle, things happen. You hate to see anybody getting hurt, though. Hopefully that young man is okay.
Well, he just rushed for the latest of the Tip-Top Roofing first downs. Tip-Top Roofing, faith, family, football, and roofing, and he sets them up inside the Air Experts heating and cooling red zone. That's where Shelby will be when we return to Durham. Hopefully we'll have a good report on the young freshman back on the other side of the break.
The need for officials has never been greater. Without officials, we don't have this.
Not far from coat time.
Make the right call.
Become an NCHSAA official. Visit nchsaa.org for more details.
From the history they have witnessed today at Durham County Memorial Stadium. They like what they just witnessed, which was Jonas Woods, the freshman, back up under his own power and coming off after rushing the Golden Lions down within striking distance once more. His most recent carry set up a 1st and goal. And the ball was on the 1-yard line.
It looks like the power set with the quarterback. Yep.
Another of the many weapons in the arsenal of Land Farmer and the Golden Lions. And another Tatum and Atkinson Shelby touchdown.
Yeah, there you have it. That's the same set we saw in the first half, JP. Just in that power set, look, power wing set, just a straight quarterback ISO dive. I mean, once again, this young man is probably 6'5", 230, 240, and you're not going to hold him back, not from getting a couple of yards.
So many different ways that 8 can come at you. 9:39 to play. Shelby has made use of its opening drive in the third quarter. Golden Lions have posted 63. If you weren't with us in the first half, you may wonder about their high water mark. They've eclipsed 60 on several occasions this year and scored 90 back on September 5th against Highland Tech. 70 against McMichael. Those are the two high water marks. That was in a 90-0 victory and a 70-14 win this type of score, nothing new for Shelby.
Yeah, and it's hard to stop them, JP. I mean, it's not like they're trying to run the score. That's just what they do, right? The pitching and catching. I mean, the zone reads. Whatever the defense is giving them, they are taking it and taking their Lions' share of it.
Well, they had a win against Burns in which a last-second blocked field goal provided the win. Talked about that as being a galvanizing moment for this team. Once the pipeline was galvanized, water flowing with ease.
That's exactly, and that's what we're seeing. Scoring with ease. It's almost like, yeah, all right, well, we'll score this time. Just picking their poison as to how they're going to do it.
It's been 4 years since they were here, and this great senior group leading the way for the Golden Lions. It was an original Grills kickoff. And we're getting news, Madison passing along that positive signs for Jonas Woods. It sounds like he will be able to return. You also see before your very eyes Tyler Jones, who was shaken up in the first half, coming back for the Vikings. So good news all around in terms of these playmakers being able to continue.
Yeah, it's good to see that senior leadership. He's not going to be denied. And once again, this is a great stat. That's a great stat line for a full game. Almost 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, but it still has them a couple of scores down right now. So they're going to have to put something together, see if they can put some more points on the board.
Yeah, you take the scoreboard away and you give those who follow this sport the stat line. That's a winning stat line. But today, as you said, they're going to be chasing here in the third quarter. Go into the hands of Pat Brown once again. Of course, Brown, McNeil, Chambers, who you've seen, Copper, who has set records today. All the different weapons that Jones will try and get jump-started here in the second half.
Yeah, see what they're doing here. They're putting Copper down here. He looks like he's in a one-on-one down at the bottom. Look for him to go to this young man.
That doesn't mention Genesis Wiggins, who's a threat in the run game. Here is Copper on cue up near midfield at the 48-yard line. Move the chains. That's a tip-top roofing first down for Kinston. Vikings going to keep coming at you.
Yeah, and see what they did is they put him as the outside receiver in trips, and so you can't put a man and a half on him or 2 men because they'd be outnumbered on the backside. So that was great adjustment by Kinston there to be able to get him the ball.
Tyreek Copper, who today has set a new North Carolina single-season record for receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. Both those marks fallen in his hands today. Right back to him. And he carries this slightly into Shelby territory at the 49.
I love the pursuit of this Shelby defense. They got the ball in his hands, and number 4 right there. We see Landon Holyfield, the junior linebacker, man, in pursuit. He laid the wood, and he let him know he was there. But great job by Copper, man. He got up and ready to go again.
If you're going to throw a punch, why not carry the name Holyfield? The junior linebacker gets the job done. There, look at his vitals. He makes his mark for the Shelby Golden Lions. "45 seconds. 7 minutes, 45 seconds the time as we wind on down, just getting rolling here in the third. Yeah. A little bit of deception on the initial start of that worked out. Wiggins found some running room.
All right, yeah, starting to put it together, putting the game plan together. And when they put Copper in trips and he's the outside receiver, that's when they're going to go to him. So look for him to come back to that formation again. And this time he was a single receiver into the boundary, so they can put a man and a half on him, right? So it's more than likely they're not going to go to him, but when they put him in that trip set, it opens up Copper on that outside.
Saw Holyfield just a moment ago, who's had a great season at linebacker for Shelby. For a little more on his backstory, let's check in with Madison.
Well, he and his cousin both on this team, and they come from a long line of Shelby athletes with the last name Holyfield, cousins, relatives, all of which have gone on to play some sport at the next level, whether it be football or basketball. And Coach Wilbanks told me, when you get a Holyfield, you know you're going to get an athlete that will outwork you, give you max effort, and they're going to be as tough as nails, guys.
He has reminded everybody there in Cleveland County of that again today, and there's a guy who for 3 decades been seeing him come through the door, talking about how happy he is to be a part of this and have this cast of characters around him. Thanks, Madison. Near side, flag is down, and
oh my,
this is somehow caught and carried in hold everything. There is a flag, but that's as impressive a moment from Pat Brown as we've seen from anyone today.
I was going to say, wait a minute, you don't want to throw back across like it's going to be holding on him. You don't want to throw the ball back across if you're running the opposite direction, throwing across the grain. I thought for sure that was a no, don't do it. Yeah, good job type throw. I mean, look at this. He's rolling. He's going to be rolling to his left. He's right-handed, so he's going to be throwing back across his body. He made an outstanding grab over 3 defenders, but to no avail. Pat Brown comes down with the reception.
It is a holding penalty that will negate this score, though you saw the skills of Pat Brown on display. Going to carry Kinston all the way back to the 48-yard line. Clock's going to dip under 6 minutes in the third quarter with this snap. And Shelby not fooled here. And there was Hollifield again. You know, you heard that from Madison a moment ago, and you think about those family traditions at a place like Shelby where there's such tremendous football history. You grow up from the time you were born into the family. As a child, you dream of it. As you come of age, you're prepared for it. The torch is literally passed from father to son to grandson and on down the line.
And you don't want to be the one to let that torch drop or go out. You want to be the one to carry it and continue it on, and he's doing that very thing.
One of the great parts about these high school football communities all across the state. Another takeaway by the D. And Shelby will celebrate this latest interception. Kendrick Raper, who's done so much already today, with another primetime moment.
Yeah, he already had 2 picks coming into the game, JP. And once again, showing that on both sides of the ball, this young man can get it done. You know, had some time, but he was under duress, under pressure there as he's being pursued by that pride of Lions. And there's Mr. Raper, hoping to take it to the house, but he drops, giving him great field position starting at the 40.
Shelby offensively begins at the 40. Golden Lions already with 536 yards of offense.
Yeah.
You can add to it. That's to the 30. Right near the marker. In fact, you can move the chains. That's another tip-top roofing first down.
Yeah. Harris, Wisnett, Morgan, Guest, Hollifield. That offensive line for Shelby is giving him so much time. He could almost, you know, pitch a tent, have a picnic, and just take his pick at the receivers that he wants to throw the ball to.
T. Hollifield, Malachi Guest, Brett Morgan, A.J. Wisnett, Bryshawn Harris. An impressive group, as responsible for the now in real time, it just updated, 536 yards of offense this group has reeled up today.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then we see a good sign for Shelby fans. Young Jonas Woods with the carry, so the ankle is good. He's raring to go.
Great that we've had both Tyler Jones for Kinston and Jonas Woods for Shelby back into the football game. Here's Woods again. And he'll carry it into the red zone. Latest Air Experts heating and cooling red zone chance. Schedule your tune-up today. Check them out at airexperts.com. Here's the carry that placed it back in the Air Experts heating and cooling red zone.
Yeah, it looked like Jonas bounced it out there. It's supposed to be like a little inside trap play, but he bounced it out. Was able to get enough for the first down, keep the chains moving inside the red zone, looking to put another score on the board.
Remember, this score, if Shelby secures it here, whenever it comes, the next one sets the record, and there it is. A touchdown toss for the ages in North Carolina from a state championship performance. Not only is it Corey, you know, we called his name early. Here he is, getting ready to celebrate with his teammates. Well, latest for Roseboro.
Yeah.
Roseboro, he fools me every time when I see him turn the back of that jersey. I'm thinking, did they get the junior wide out in there at some point. No, it's still Roseboro, and it's yet another touchdown for Roseboro. Think on his day, as he has just caught his 4th touchdown pass to run it to 69-41. And Eric, that's the difference maker from a record-breaking standpoint. More points have now been scored in this football game than any North Carolina State Championship contest in the modern era. And the guy who has more touchdowns than anyone else reels it in to set the new all-time mark.
Every first day needs someone who believes in all the days that follow. First practice, first breakthrough, first business plan. A Legacy is proud to partner with Wake Forest University to believe in all of your starts. Because when someone is behind you, everything is in front of you.
Well, we will have the Affordable Dentures and Implants Player of the Game selected for you before the conclusion of this one, and that's going to be a hard selection to come by. There are a number of worthy candidates. Now, the guy that's been distributing the football to them all across the course of the day certainly comes to mind, but so many different playmakers in this one. You know, and you can make candidate for Player of the Game numbers for the team that may come up on the short side of this one when all's said and done.
You better believe it, JP. They're both putting up, as Coach Wilbank said, video game-like numbers.
Been remarkable. That was our original Grills kickoff, and here is the official reminder that you have just witnessed the highest scoring championship game in the modern era, and for Shelby as a single team putting together the most points since the early 1900s, but with 111 on the board now, 70 of them up there for Shelby. This is the highest scoring contest combined in the modern era. Here's the toss near side, and that's going to be incomplete. Of course, if you're wondering what we just eclipsed, if you weren't with us at the half when we talked about it, Dudley and Rose in 2021 scored 109 total. Now, that was in the full game. We're still in the third quarter.
Still in the third quarter.
That was a 60-49 win for Dudley over Rose. This is a 70-41 lead for a Shelby team who, as you just saw, has scored the most points in ages for a single team. And it's nothing new for Shelby, Eric.
No.
They've scored 70 plus for now a third time this season.
Yeah, and we're not done, and the ball is on the ground.
Golden Lions making a bid to get it back again, but it stays with Kinston.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't need a short field, right? I think if they started at the 2-yard line, they're still going to be able to score in a couple. And not to take anything away from Kinston, I mean, it's what they do. But here's a good run by number 6 there for the Vikings. That's Sumter, and right at the end there, he let the ball go on the ground, but they recovered it. No harm, no foul. They're going to keep the drive going.
Two and a half remaining in the third. And it's going to be handled by that Shelby D. So here comes a 4th down play for Kinston now, and that's Hollifield again.
Yeah. Try and tell somebody that this game's not important, or we're up 4 scores, kind of let it go. These kids are playing with all of their might on both sides of the ball, but Shelby's just showing that relentless pursuit on defense, and it's making the Vikings pay.
Fourth down. Incomplete. Golden Lions They have been golden today, and they take over once more in Vikings territory.
And look, I mean, just look at the jubilation as they're coming off the field, how the offense is greeting the defense. They want, JP, they may score 100 points. I don't know what the conversation is like on that sideline, but you can be rest assured that they may have written Kinston that is not 2015, and Shelby's like, you're right, it's 2025, and they're hoping that they remember this.
Here's Woods.
Yeah.
After he is hit, Eric, is impressive with the additional yards he's able to come away
Yeah,
with.
that balance, those yards after contact. And he is a freshman. This young man is a freshman. So we're going to be looking at, possibly one of the leading rushers in Cleveland County right here. But this young man is not letting up either.
90 seconds to play in the third quarter. It's been a quiet third quarter, right? Just 14 points combined. When you consider that 22-14 was our score after one, and the second quarter split, 34 points for Shelby, 27 points for Kinston. So third quarter relatively quiet, though Shelby will make it a little less so. Another Tatum and Atkinson touchdown toss. Another from Kendrick Raper and Shelby. Well, we told you Shelby worked out of a tent in the state semifinals, and that Coach Wilbanks went into the tent and he said, guys, we're just going to play it like Revolutionary War heroes. After all, their town is named for a Revolutionary War hero. He said, let's just come out and battle. 76 on the board for Shelby. A nod to that revolutionary history for the Golden Lions. It has been a revolutionary day. And with the extra point, they have posted 77 as the new record they're in the process of setting continues to grow.
I'm speechless, JP. I don't know what to say. I mean, you go cover zero, and you man up and try and send the house, and Farmer just sits there like he's on an afternoon stroll, and he throws a little slant across the middle for a touchdown. 118 combined points today is the most, and dare I say, JP, going out on the limb here, that Shelby's not done.
And our graphics folks who are working hard for you, probably not done either. Going to have to continue to add to that total as we roll. Again, they eclipsed it with that touchdown a moment ago, what had been the record, which was 109. And that just keeps on climbing. And here comes an original Grills kickoff for the Shelby Golden Lions. Eric, when you've won as many titles as the Lions have, looking for number 13 here today, you always look for that one thing that makes that title in a given year stand out among the fray. No worries to that end with this one. They have made their mark in 2025.
Yep. And still, look at it, special teams. Relentless pursuit of the football. Running down the field, getting there by the whistles. Is there a flag on the field? Nope, no flags. I thought I heard a bunch of whistles.
Well, with all this power we've seen today, we remind you that First Source Rentals is powering the game. First Source Rentals, reliable, safe equipment rentals. First Source Rentals, rent it. They are powering the game. This game has not been short on power.
Not at all.
22 seconds remaining in the third quarter. A reminder as we come toward the end of this third period, and we'll remind you again before we're done.
Okay.
Well, hold that, because Shelby has another takeaway.
Wow.
This one picked off by Julius Brooks, one of the juniors on this roster.
Yeah, I mean, JP, it's comprehensive. From special teams, offense, defense. There's no quit. These young men, they're still flying after the football. He's taking this opportunity. That was a great catch. Once again, we're thinking of plays of the game. We always look at it from an offensive perspective, but I don't know. Throw your hat in the ring. Here's another highlight for the Golden Lions of Shelby High School.
Well, was going to pass along a moment ago. Because of all the exploits we have seen from the Shelby Golden Lions, This one has taken a while. So for those of you wondering about our programming, we will join the 2A state championship game, Tarboro and Murphy, in progress after the conclusion of this one. A lot more to come because the fourth quarter is on the horizon on a history-making day in Durham for Shelby and Kinston.
Robert, go for more.
Hey! Hurt the car wreck? Don't go up against the insurance company alone. Let the heavy hitters do it for you. Call 800-LAW-0804 and we'll go after all the money they should be paying you. Stay out of the courtroom and get into the end zone.
Call the heavy hitters, who are attorneys Tatum and Atkinson.
Call the heavy hitters, they'll work to get you more. 1-800-LAW-0804.
Have you been quoted for trench drain system to fix water intrusion? Before you compromise your foundation, talk to Foundation Solutions. We provide a more efficient, more cost-effective way to keep your basement dry. With 30 years of experience in Western North Carolina, we bring guaranteed work, financing options, and real peace of mind. Visit foundationswnc.com or call 828-768-2208.
Through three quarters, the numbers are eye-popping.
Yeah, all of them for Shelby. 459 yards passing, 613 total yards. That's amazing. We've never seen it before. I've never seen anything like that.
Fourth quarter, we opened the day saying it feels like Cleveland County down around the Carolina border. They must have heard their rivals from Crest are going to be in the building a little bit later, because they have made a statement and set the bar very high through three quarters. No one more so than this young man at quarterback. 8 tossed for touchdowns today, and Shelby is cruising 77-41 as we enter the fourth.
Yeah, he's tied the record. Maybe there's a chance he'll break the record, JP, with another toss for a touchdown. And, with an offense like this, with this, these RPOs, you take what the defense gives you. So if they empty out and goes cover 0 or even cover 1, you're daring them to throw.
If you happen to have a quarterback need in the Carolinas, might be worth dialing them up in Cleveland County and giving this young man a look. He is the all-time passing leader in one of the more prolific championship counties in all of North Carolina. And he has risen to the occasion in the state championship environment to show the reality of his medal.
Yeah, saved the best for last. His best performance of the year to right now on the biggest stage of his football career right here in the state championship. 77 points, 8 touchdowns. 8. Dare I say 9 is on the horizon, JP.
Well, we were referencing a moment ago, Crest coming a little later. Shelby taking care of their piece of business for Cleveland County first, and now looking to start the fourth quarter with more of the same. A flag comes in as the ball carrier goes out of bounds far side, the freshman Woods.
Yeah, it's going to be, it looks like a Personal foul, late hit out of bounds.
After the play, personal foul on the defense for 20. Half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, just maybe a little frustrated. You know, just a little extra right there toward the end. He's 7 yards out of bounds. And you hate to see that, but that's the passion and emotion that these young men have been playing with. All year they've been practicing and dreaming of this time. And I mean, the game's not over yet, right, by any means, but to seem to be coming up short against the Shelby team, it's a little disheartening.
It's tough in those moments. By the way, you saw Mark Hurt there, 30 years of officiating and a high school football head official in the state championship environment, which is always an honor. We tip our cap to the third team on the field because they earn the right to be here as well.
That's correct. You don't want to hear from them a lot, but you're right. They have earned the right to be here. They're at the top of their game.
Couldn't happen without them. Even an old coach would say that, right?
Indeed.
Here's a 1st and goal from the 8. And Woods going to weave on through traffic and secure the latest Shelby touchdown. Now, there's a little extracurricular on the backside of this. And kudos to some teammates getting in there and separating everybody because starting to bubble over a little bit.
Yeah, that young man may be done. Another flag is thrown as well as he's going off, just taking a little extra shots there. But, you know, Shelby's not, I mean, they're just running the ball. That's his outside zone. And Woods is making his cuts, and he's there. And, like I said, they've practiced and worked hard, all season, and you just hate to see that.
Officials, we were just talking about them a moment ago, having to sort out this post-play as the touchdown has put 83 on the board for Shelby now. You know, Eric, they got to sort the penalty out here, obviously, but you were kind of saying earlier 90 points. Yeah, that was against Highland Tech back on the 5th of September. 90 points is in striking distance for Shelby here in the state title game against the best out of the East. Just remarkable. And
JP, it's a running clock now because the point differential says, and the clock is running as we speak. And I'm sure against, back earlier in the season when they scored 90, it was a running clock. You know, coach is not, you're not running the score up. You're just handing the ball off, and man, kids are making plays. That offensive line for Shelby has been dominating all day long. I mean, Farmers had, just endless amounts of time to sit there and throw the ball, and now these holes are gaping as well.
We await the call on the penalties post-play. And our officials just trying to make sure they have their hands wrapped around the entirety of this one, because with 7:21 still to go, you don't want anything to get out of hand and put a damper on what has been a celebratory afternoon, certainly for the folks in black and gold.
Yeah. I mean, you'd never think that with 41 points, with 41 points being scored, that it'd be a running clock. You never.
41 is usually going to be enough to put you right there in a state championship environment. Trouble is, Shelby has nearly doubled it up. Here's the call.
Play. Defense, number 19. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 19. He's disqualified from the game. The penalty's been forced on the opening kickoff. Result of the play is a touchdown.
So a couple of penalties against Newton, and there's an ejection involved as he picked up a couple of unsportsmanlikes there. And the result of the play before the, as we often term it, extracurricular activity, making it 83-41. And here is Shelby with one of the busiest guys in America on this Saturday from a kicking standpoint. And he has been true on these extra points.
Yeah, his leg might be tired, JP, from kicking all those extra points.
Matt Grenier ready to put his foot into it one more time, trying to make it 84-41. Now, just a little more conversation ongoing with the coaching staff on that far side for Kinston.
Yeah, he's probably explaining to him what, why he was disqualified. It looked like he threw a punch, and you hate to see it. These kids have been playing hard all day. They've been fighting all year. He's a senior, and this is going to be his last football game he ever plays. And so, the emotions got the best of him.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
You envision this day going one way for one of the two teams. It always goes another.
Yeah.
And our official is going to share something else as he comes back to the center of the field. Nope, it appears as if we're ready for the extra point. And once more, Grenier's extra point. And he remains true. 84 posted for a Shelby team. 4 years removed from their last trip, and about 8.5 away, it would seem, from their latest title.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of Cook Rentals. Now in 5 locations across North Carolina. Cook Rentals, renting the smart way to get things done.
It was going to be a day they were going to talk about in Cleveland County for a long time to come, whatever happened. They had both their teams here in a state championship environment on the same day, in the same stadium. But they're talking about it for different reasons now. Shelby, a statement in 2025, has posted 84, and they lead Kinston by a sizable margin in the fourth quarter. A reminder, for those of you wondering about the next one, we will join the 2A contest between Tarboro and Murphy taking place at Lenore Ryan there in Hickory. We will join it in progress at the conclusion of this one, so you will see the full celebration by the Shelby Golden Lions for all their good work on this historic day. It is, if you're wondering about it and you weren't with us until now, a record-breaking day on multiple fronts. And certainly the one that stands out above all else, more points than any time in the history of North Carolina State Championship action, as 125 are on the board between these teams. After the penalties were walked off on the kick, a short one from the 30 goes easily into the end zone. Well, Shelby, mission accomplished, it would seem, though there's still 8:16 on the clock. Crest to come in a bit. For more on their connection, the fan bases, and what today means, let's check in with Madison.
Well, those schools only 10 minutes from one another, guys, and they're rivals in the regular season, but come postseason, they're all about rooting for one another. There's charter buses that brought some Shelby fans over for this game, and only one of them is leaving immediately after the conclusion of this one, giving the Shelby fans the option to stay and root on Crest, and some Crest fans headed over early to watch this one.
You got to stay and watch your rival, righty?
There you go.
When you have a rare opportunity to do so. Think about the rarity of rival schools making it to the state championship in the same year.
Right.
Think about with 8 classification, the opportunity existing for you to play in the same stadium. Right. All of it comes together for the folks from Cleveland County today.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You almost want to ask, man, what is in the water in Cleveland County? What's going on down there? But they're playing some great football, and yeah, like you said, Crest will be next.
As Mike Wilbanks told us, it's revolutionary.
There you go.
No doubt about it. Still battling Kinston. And that's going to be up near the 28-yard line as it goes back into Genesis Wiggins. It feels like ages ago now, but Genesis Wiggins had the first score of the day on either side. There was a time when Kinston led this thing on the strength of his rushing touchdown to get it all started.
Yeah, it was a great run, great balance. He, spun, hand on the ground. I mean, it was textbook, yards after contact, and then it's like it opened the floodgates, JP.
Often the final outcome overshadows, at least in the immediacy of it, what a tremendous year it takes to reach the state championship environment. But over time, that becomes more clear. And Eric, it's worth taking a moment and talking about just what a special year this has been for the Vikings of Kinston.
Yeah, and you still see there's still fight left in them. And unfortunately, it looks like the defender landed on Wiggins right there.
That's Wiggins who's down.
Maybe just got the wind. Hopefully it's just the wind knocked out of him and he'll be fine because he's played a heck of a game.
We'll break away, come back, document that Kinston season a bit. Hopefully have good news on Wiggins and have the balance of the fourth quarter as Shelby appears to be working on toward a latest title here in Durham. Everything looked to be okay for Genesis Wiggins. And you look at the Kinston Vikings. Just talking about it before we went to break there, Eric, what a tremendous season it's been for the group out of the East. You'll remember for a lifetime that you won an East title and you played for a championship. They went through one of the toughest regions of the state from a playoff standpoint, took down the 1 seed, James Keenan, in order to get here. Takes a moment when things don't go your way in the final game, but over time they'll see what a special year this has been.
Yeah, they got a lot to be proud of. They made it to the state championship, played their hearts out. They just ran up on a juggernaut with Shelby. Yeah, a lot to be happy and proud for from this community.
And how special to watch him across the course of the year in his career. Tyreek Copper, who again today set new marks. He set the mark for single season receiving yards, single season receiving touchdowns in the state of North Carolina. Got a lot of work left to do in the state of North Carolina. He'll be doing some in Raleigh, as you can tell by the back of his helmet. But he has a historic day as well.
Yeah, and he'll have the pride. He carries the pride of this community on his back as he goes to NC State next year. And we're going to be watching him play on Saturdays and expecting a lot of good things from him as well.
That's another good catch from Chambers. It's going to move the chains with a Tatum and Atkinson first down. When you put in perspective what Kinston did in 2025, it certainly has been a season to remember for the guy who pulls double duty. Coach Gieselman, who is both the AD and the head football coach, and plenty of credit to he and his team. Place known for its basketball prowess, now with its football moment getting here. 10 years removed from their last meeting with Shelby, and back again here in 2025. Well, disruption from Boone Weiss, the senior linebacker on the Shelby roster. Get a number of those individuals in there now who can make their mark in a state championship game and talk about it for generations to come.
Yeah, making those memories. Remember when, hey, we put 84 up on Kinston, hey, and we held them, dare I say held, to 41. But yeah, they're making memories of a lifetime right here. And, they'll talk about it. And I like to say the older I get, the better I was, so they'll continue to talk about it.
Well, some of those defenders into the game now for Shelby, trying to rush to the football as it popped out at the end of that play. And It appears as if the Golden Lions do have it.
Yeah.
Well, celebrating moments after we called his name. Take a look at the football coming out here.
There you go.
Shelby with a takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, relentless pursuit, still attacking the football. That's number 30 there.
That's Boone Weiss again.
Yeah, Boone Weiss again. Hey, try and tell him this is cleanup time. This young man is playing his hard, created a fumble, and once again, that will be a memory that's etched in his mind for the rest of his life.
Well, and Coach Wilbanks talked so much about this senior class, how proud he was of this group, the seniors that had never made the trip here to the state title game. You know, 4 years, we talked about it earlier. It's a long layoff for Shelby. They're back 4 years after claiming the crown over Wallace Rose Hill in 2021. And this one's going to work out their direction as well. It is 283 miles between the two schools. It was a 184-mile journey to Durham County Memorial for the Shelby Golden Lions, and the black and gold have made the most of that trip. Well, we are at 5 o'clock. One more reminder for you. You will see the 2A title game between Tarboro and Murphy. That one will be coming your way across the Sinclair family of networks, all across the Carolinas. At the conclusion of this one, and we're getting closer to it, some curtain calls coming your way now. And as he departs, we'll go ahead and designate Land Farmer as our player of the game here in the 3A state title contest.
Yeah, 459 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 rushing. This young man was responsible for 10 scores, JP. Outstanding. Congratulations, Land Farmer. And once again, if somebody's looking for a quarterback, this young man has the arm and the legs to make your program better.
He is the Affordable Dentures and Implants player of the game. And a reminder, you can use your 2025 dental benefits now. Get the smile you deserve. Visit affordabledentures.com for a practice near you. Well, they got him. The moment Coach Wilbanks had been waiting for, another title. Let's go ahead and take a look at our play of the game. There were so many to choose from, but Eric, it's going to be Roseboro who ends up going high and bringing down one of his several TD catches.
Yeah, Roseboro, talking to the fella, you got Moss. That was one of those you got Moss plays. Excellent play, good job. This young man had a heck of a game, and he'll remember that for the very rest of his life.
He caught 4 of them. He was our Legacy Federal Credit Union play of the game recipient. 4 touchdown catches, 4 different receivers with touchdown catches, which also speaks to Land Farmer's player of the game designation. He ends his career as the most prolific passer in the history of Cleveland County. And when you're talking about 13 state championships at Shelby, Crest coming up next, that's saying a lot. And with just a half-minute remaining, the final chapter he writes, this senior class writes, is going to mean another Shelby championship. Here is Tyler Tate, the senior running back, getting a chance to tote the football in the closing seconds of the state game.
Yep, taking a handoff from freshman quarterback number 16, Cruz Scott, who has had an opportunity to see history made right here. You never know. Maybe another superstar in the making, JP.
Little glimpse of the future there, but it is a return to the storied past and a moment in the present for the crew out of Cleveland County as Shelby, the Lions, are golden once again as the champions of 3A. Let's go ahead and go field side. Madison is standing by with a victorious and Gatorade-bathed head coach.
Well, Coach, you're soaked with Gatorade. I saw you emotional over there on the sidelines. What does this one mean to you?
I'm going to tell you what, my senior class, their freshman year, we stood on the field and got whooped at Burns in the playoffs in the pouring rain, and they took it. They took it like champs. And they have stayed the course for 4 years, and they have been just stalwarts of our program and what we believe in and what we do. And I'm happy for all these guys, but those seniors, our quarterback, he takes a lot of heat. And he took some heat at the beginning of the year. We started off 0-2, and a lot of people were on him. That locker room and the coaches believed in him. He believed in himself. And I'm just so proud for them, not for me. I mean, heck, I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm just so happy for those guys to get to enjoy this moment.
And what legacy will Land Farmer leave at Shelby High School?
It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one for somebody to overtake one day. He's the Cleveland County passing yards leader, Cleveland County touchdown leader. Now he's the state champion. He's probably going to be the MVP. I mean, I can't see who else you'd give it to. So, I mean, I don't know what else to do. If there's a college coach out there, they are not coming by to talk to Land, and I do not understand why. But somebody needs to get him because they're going to get a winner.
Well, congratulations,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Go enjoy your team.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
That MVP piece of business already taken care of, Coach. You heard him say it. He's just happy to be a part of it. Well, so are we. A historic day in Durham. We'll be back to wrap it and send you to Hickory on the other side of the break. The Shelby Lions Golden with a 3A crown. $125 record-breaking points later. The title goes to Shelby, who posted 84 of them for a 13th championship in school history, and this their 19th trip, the first in 4 years for Coach Wilbanks and company and his quarterback. Impressive on this day as the MVP, Land Farmer, who has made Cleveland County history today, helped his team make North Carolina State football history. Your thoughts on what we witnessed with an impressive championship for the Golden Lions?
Outstanding, comprehensive. I mean, they left no doubt. Congrats to all the record breakers in this game. Congrats to Shelby High School and that community there. You know, they like to fancy themselves as title town, and we saw exactly why today, JP.
644 yards of total offense, 459 of those through the air. The numbers could go on forever. They're eye-popping, but the big number, title number 13. A big thank you to all of our sponsors: Affordable Dentures and Implants, Foundation Solutions, Tip Top Roofing, Air Experts, Tatum and Atkinson, Original Grills, a Legacy Federal Credit Union, Ingalls Markets, and First Source Rentals, as well as a big thank you to the fans. You are the reason we do what we do. Much appreciation to all the coaches, administrators, players who made this day possible. Once more, it is Shelby on a historic point-scoring day, back on top in 3A. We now send you in progress to Hickory and Lenore-Ryan, where Tarboro and Murphy are duking it out in the 2A title game. Our final here, 84-41 with a historic 125 on the board. And Shelby with the latest title on the board. The Lions are once more golden.
Ever since my boots first hit these streets, had to scratch a